Hi guys, welcome to the Patrick McGibney Podcast. I'm sitting here with my friend Justin. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Excited.
Awesome. We'll have some fun today. Short intro about Justin. He's an international speaker, a business mentor. He has grown multiple 6 to 7 figure consulting businesses. Justin helps coaches, consultants, professionals to escape the time for money trap. We all know that in our niche as well, and creates a real business that provides freedom and scalability. He mentors entrepreneurs around the whole world and is an international speaker and trainer. Justin has consulted some of the biggest names in the coaching world on how to attract consistent leads, widen profit, and scale their business quickly. He is partnered, and that's going to be for sure one of the stories we need to tell, and share the stage with experts like Gary V, we all know him, Bill Walsh, Mark Victor Hansen, and Dave D. And his business have been featured in the Forbes magazine, Men's Health, as well as on national TV and radio. Cool intro. And I would say, again, Justin, thanks for coming to the show, man. It's an honor to have you here. And I would say, let's get the show started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. I think we could jump right into the story that we were just, touching. Like, you met Gary V. You just started telling the story, but I think it's interesting to hear.
Yeah, you want me to tell that story then?
Yeah.
Okay, so back in 2016, at the time, I'd been doing a lot of live events, retreats, workshops all over the place to help more people. But at the time, I didn't know much about Gary Vaynerchuk. I'd heard about him, but I didn't follow his stuff or anything like that. I actually thought he was like a bit obnoxious, and I'd only heard sound bites and got the wrong impression. I love Gary V now. But a friend of mine, Dan Meredith, who's also a big coach in the space, he's a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. And at the time, Gary had released one of his books. It escapes me which one it was. But basically, if you bought 20,000 copies, then Gary would come and do a seminar with you. If you do 50,000, you get one-on-one coaching with him or whatever. So my friend Dan had basically gone out, and he's an impulsive guy. And he went out and bought 20,000 copies of the book just so Gary V could come to London and do an event. And then, he contacts me afterwards and says, hey, I've just bought 20,000 copies of a book. I've got Gary V coming. But, what do I do about putting a live event? I don't know how to do live events. You do a lot of live events. Can you help out? And also, what do we do with 20,000 books, which are arriving on a crate? Yeah. So that's how we got into it. We put the event on. We drew in a lot of other big speakers to come in. And we packed it out in a venue in London. Nice. We knew that Gary was a fan of boxing.
Oh, he is?
And so my friend Dan found a very famous boxing arena, an old-time boxing arena in London. Wow. And we put the event in there in 2016. We filled it out with paying tickets, gave everyone a copy of the book as well. And Gary V came. I kicked off the event and emceed the event and spoke a little bit. But awesome. Yeah, it was a great experience. And
that's a cool story. How many people were attending the
I think the place had capacity for a couple of hundred, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the event was actually, you'll probably find it on YouTube. It was actually in the boxing ring. So really, the speakers were in the boxing ring.
That's cool.
And then everyone sat around the outside. So Gary loved it. He was like blown away. He was like, this is such a cool idea. And that was it.
He's a boxing fan, yeah?
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
Cool. That's an awesome idea. I mean, boxing in the UK is pretty big, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. We were just like, we were having a box, like a Muay Thai competition actually, and it was in London, like a month or two ago. From our Cyprus Muay Thai team, we went to London and we're fighting against some UK Muay Thai fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you beat them?
It was also very old boxing arena. Like,
okay, what was it called?
I don't know anymore.
I can't remember the name of this place either. It's got a catchy name, but I can't remember.
It was really old school, like high windows, like didn't even look like a boxing arena, but it was like very, very cool atmosphere and pretty rough opponents there. Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool.
That might be in the same place.
I don't know, like a couple of hundred, maybe. Could have the capacity. That's cool. And what was it about? Just out of curiosity, what did Gary V speak about? What was like?
So, well, Gary Vee spoke about Gary Vee things, you know, you're not working hard enough, stop watching Netflix, the usual. And yeah, the other speakers all came in, but it was all mostly aimed at entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So we had guys talk about mindset,
Yeah.
lead gen, some guys just telling their stories, how they went from nothing to building 7-8 figure companies.
That's cool.
And yeah, a bit of everything.
Fuck, that's cool. Need to get Gary V here too. Maybe he's gonna join. You got the contact.
Yeah, well, next time there's a book coming out, you just buy enough copies and
30,000 copies. How much is that?
well, this was 2016, so now he's probably asking a bit of a higher price right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
But he always has these deals when a book comes out to get this is how they get the book as a bestseller.
Yeah.
You know, if you buy 50 copies of the book for your team, you might get a Zoom call with him. If you buy 10,000 copies, 20,000.
Oh, that.
So literally, if you wanted to get like a one-on-one consulting day with him at his premises in New York, but you don't want to pay, I don't know whatever, but for example, like the 500K or whatever, when the book comes out, you can maybe pick up enough copies of the book for 200K, and he'll give you the consulting day for free, for example.
Pretty smart.
So it's actually a really genius business idea too.
That is. Shit. Should have thought about that. Need a book first. Yeah, and maybe for the audience here on a podcast, like, what are you doing? Why are you in Cyprus? Like, maybe let's get a rundown on how you ended up in Cyprus and like how do you earn your money these days?
Yeah, so I'll make a long story short. I've been in Cyprus for 14 years now. It's my 14th year. I'm still on holiday.
Yes.
Bought a one-way ticket. My parents are still expecting me to go home any day now. So yeah, I came up in the fitness industry and the personal training. As a personal trainer, I worked out of a gym in the UK 15 years ago when I came out of college, and always wanted to go out and do my own thing. Like most experts, we usually start off working for somebody else, doing more than we should, earning less money than we should, realize, hey, these guys are clowns. I could do it better myself.
Exactly.
And that's what I did. And you go out, set up on your own, and it's amazing. You've got all the certifications. You're ready to go. You open up your own consulting or coaching practice, and then nothing happens and nobody gives a fuck. And you realize then you've actually got to learn marketing and sales and everything else to grow a business. So that's exactly what I did back in the day. And I actually came to Cyprus because an opportunity came up where a good friend of my parents at the time, they had bought a property out here near the beach, kind of like near like where you live, like next to the beach. And I knew I wanted to leave the UK and go somewhere else. Yeah. My father is a bit older. He retired and moved over to Corfu in Greece.
Oh, that's a nice place too. Yeah.
And yeah, after 2 years, he was bored out of his mind.
Really, yeah.
And he said to me one day, he said, I've made the biggest mistake. I spent all my years working in the UK, thinking I was going to retire and then have the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm bored. I want to start a vegetable farm or something to make money, but there's nothing to do. And I think, people like him and us, we realize as entrepreneurs, we're never truly going to retire. No. We always want to build. Yeah. And I think even just as men, we always want to build and create something.
Agreed.
The more value that we have, that we've accumulated, the more we want to give.
Yeah.
So my father said to me, he said, look, don't make the mistake I did. Build your lifestyle now.
Yeah.
And so you don't even need to retire later.
Total sense.
And I was 23 at the time. And I said, okay, I'm going to take that to heart. I'm going to make this fitness coaching business work, but I'm not going to do it here in the UK. Yeah. Where even if it's a success, what do you do with the money and the freedom there? Yeah. Go to the mall, go to the cinema. There's nothing else to do in the UK. So I was looking for places to move abroad to. I looked at America, I looked at Australia. I looked at Spain. And then that's when the family friend came in and said, we have a place in Cyprus, which I'd barely even heard of at the time.
Same.
They said, you can rent our place for the summer, see if you like it. And it's only, 4 or 5 hours away from the UK.
Close, yeah. And
I just said, you know what, I'll take it. One-way ticket. I'm going to go there. It's not going to be worse than the UK in my mind. And, fortunately, there's a great expat community out here. I've never had to learn a word of Greek in 14 years. No, kebab.
Yeah.
That's about it. Souvlaki. So I came out here and with the intent of starting the fitness business. I thought I'll figure it out. I'll learn the marketing, learn the sales, find a place to do it from as a freelancer. And that's actually when I came out here, what actually happened was I got here and I was giving out my resumes to work.
Yeah.
Because in the fitness industry, you start as a personal trainer, you rent the space out of a gym.
Yeah.
So this is all I knew at the time. I would go around all the gyms, see where I could rent space from, and then build up my clientele within that space.
Same in Germany, actually.
Yeah. So I'd go around and I was just giving out like resumes and things. Not that I didn't realize you didn't have to do that, but I was so indoctrinated by the academia approach.
Yeah.
I didn't realize if you offer to pay them 500 euros to rent the space, they'll give it to you. They don't care who you are or if you even do fitness. They're like, okay, you can. But I would go and give my resumes to these places, and I then drove up to a place called Aphrodite Hills.
Oh, that's so nice.
Which we know, one of the nicest luxury resorts on the island here. And I was just blown away by, the villas and the Lamborghinis driving around. And I gave my resume to the gym there. And on the way out, I was just driving out. I had one more resume left in my pack of 20 that day. And I just noticed a Costa Coffee.
Yeah.
I just opened. And it actually just opened that week, 14 years ago. And I had one resume left. And I thought, you know what? Like, I need to make some money, really. Yeah. So why don't I just give this resume to the coffee shop, just in case?
Yeah.
You never know. I thought, what the hell? I went in there, and the guy there said, we need people to start. Can you start immediately?
We'll give you on the spot. Yeah.
We'll give you 900 euros for 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Me being 23 and stupid, I was like, yeah, okay,
sure, man.
That sounds like a good deal. And I just started working in Costa Coffee. So I kind of put my fitness goals on hold for a bit. I thought, I've got stable income.
Yeah.
Let's just see where this goes. And what happened was then working there was also great because I'd meet all the local people who were coming in for their coffee every day. You'd see, very like wealthy, like families, guys pulling up in the sports cars. You'd see like the short, fat, ugly Russian guys with 2 supermodels,
I don't know.
Clearly, don't know why they're with that super millionaire, but you meet all these interesting people, and I would love to connect and get talking with everyone and just ask, what's it like living up here? What are the pros, the cons? And I said I'm going to get a house up here one day.
Yeah.
And they probably thought I was stupid saying that working behind the bar in Costa Coffee. And a few people just told me that the biggest problem living up there was the lack of property maintenance.
Yeah.
And that's where we were talking earlier about this. This is why I actually started my first kind of expert business over here. And because I'd met up with a family that lived locally to me where I was living. And so the son of the family, about my age, did cleaned windows.
Yeah.
The mother cleaned houses, and their father did garden work and maintenance.
Yeah.
And they would just all look for little odd jobs around the place. And they were doing it in the small village, whereas Aphrodite Hills was like 20 minutes down the road. And I asked these guys, I was like, you're getting all these customers to do house cleaning, window cleaning here in the village. And, how much do you charge for that? And they'd say, well, people pay us maybe 30, 40 euros maybe.
Yeah.
And I said, why don't you go to Aphrodite Hills? There's like rich people there. You could just charge triple for doing the same work.
Definitely.
Which is a big lesson in business. We'll talk later, is just choose better customers.
Yeah.
If you want instant pay increase, choose people with money.
Yeah.
And, they were like, oh, we're not sure. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to market ourselves. So I said, let me take care of that. I'll do the marketing for us, make the brand and everything, go and get the customers, and you go and do the work, and we split the money.
Yeah.
And that's what we started doing. And we actually built the company up but we had about 90 homes over Cyprus. in Aphrodite Hills, a couple in Limassol, all the way up to Paya on the other side of the island through referrals, using a lot of the principles that I then learned at the time and implemented in that business. And after a couple of years, well, what happened was that the son who did the windows, he actually got a tourist pregnant. A tourist girl came over, he got her pregnant. He then decided to go back to the UK to be with the baby. You know, as you guess, a year later, the parents, they wanted to go as well then, so they left Cyprus. And I eventually sold on I still had the asset of the customer list.
Yeah.
So I actually sold it on to one of our assistant window cleaners.
Yeah.
Who'd been helping us just for some extra work. A Hungarian guy I know. And I said, look, you know, these guys, my workers have gone. I'm probably going to go back. I'm more excited to go back into fitness and start applying these principles in my fitness business now. But do you want to take over the whole round, basically? And so that was, you know, 13 years ago or so. And my friend Zolly, he still runs the window cleaning business to this day.
Really, yeah?
He's called Mr. Squeegee. And he's actually built a good client base around the island in Cyprus, him and a couple of workers.
Yeah?
So he actually took that business, and proud to say he's still running it today.
Still active today.
Yeah. So
if I'm going to need some cleaners, I can go to Mr. Squeaky?
Mr. Squeegee. Yeah.
Squeegee.
They focus on they specialize in the window cleaning. They have a lot of corporate contracts now.
Really good.
And so, yeah, it's crazy seeing, like, you know, the principles of business, when you apply them, you have an asset that can really last. If I was smarter, I would have given him 90% of the company and kept 10%, right? And then got paid for the next 10 years.
Always smarter afterwards.
But you learn all the lessons just by taking pure action. And so, long story short, then I got back into fitness in about 2012, I think it was. Started personal training, fitness coaching over here. Used, you know, a lot of the principles, made a lot of mistakes. I learned from some of the mistakes, implemented the right things from mentors and people I was learning from, which we can talk about today. Grew my studio then, filled up my studio. Quickly then scaled into another studio because I needed more space. Brought on a partner and some staff, and then I sold that studio. And that time then in 2014, I went over to Romania because I had a client in Romania. After I'd built and sold my first fitness studio, I was attracting other personal trainers, entrepreneurs who were all asking me then, how did I do it? And I met a girl in Romania who, she was not a fitness professional. She had just graduated university and was just very entrepreneurial. Yeah. And she wanted to do something within health and fitness because that's what she liked to do. Yeah. But she was not a coach. So I said to her, look, you know, you can, if we want, you can just run my model. Yeah. I've built and sold my studio. I have all the blueprints. I have all the systems and processes. It's essentially a business in a box at this point. Yeah. It would work great in Bucharest. Yeah. She wasn't so confident she could run it all on her own. So I said, well, let's go 50-50 in the company. You know, and I'll come over, I'll take equity and I'll build it with you for a few months. Yeah. So in 2014, we built the next version of the coaching business over in Romania. Yeah. I did 6 months over there or so, launched it, took it to a place. And then from there I sold back my shares and said, right, I'm going back to Cyprus now. Yeah. But here you go. And they've still got a business to this day.
Crazy.
You know, last time I checked, I think it still makes 300 to 600K a year.
It's really good.
At the gym. So that's still going as well. Yeah. And since then, I've been consulting other gym owners, doing more retreats, live events. And then most recently in 2018, I partnered with another client who came to one of my immersion events. He just literally opened his first studio, didn't know what to do next. And he had great potential. He had all the right stuff going, and we partnered together. Yeah. Same deal. I said, look, because this is what I started doing after a while, is the best clients or the people with most potential, I would usually work, do an equity deal with them as well and build an equity portfolio. So the companies I was helping, I would retain the stock equity, which I learned from my last, from the window cleaning. Yeah. And we took that gym then we opened a second location in 2019. We were about to open a third location in 2020 when, you know, the mysterious virus of unknown origin we cannot mention will all came around, and everything closed down. And at this point, at this point, then we had a decision to make. At this point, we were closed overall for about 8 months in total. We were fortunate because we had stockpiled a lot of cash through 2018 and 19. We had a lot of temptation to like scale things up and just, get more locations, open up. But from what I'd learned up to that point, I'd learned that 74% of coaching businesses actually fail because they attempt to scale too fast.
Too fast. Yeah, very interesting.
Not because they can't get customers, not because of this or that.
Yeah.
I mean, startups, very small start maybe, but like if you're talking about established low six-figure coaching businesses, and I made this mistake too at times, you try and scale too quickly before you're ready. Yeah. Before the systems or the right people, leaders, and profits are in place. And we resisted that temptation at the time, whereas other gym owners I know did scale up to like 4, 5, 6 locations. And I knew for a fact that those gyms were, one gym was, or one location was basically paying for another one to survive or keeping it afloat. Yeah. So it's like a house of cards. And what's really freaky is there's actually a video on YouTube of me at one of my live events in 2019. And one thing I always would teach to the coaches, when it comes to finances, I always teach them and say, what would you do if you could not sell anything tomorrow? If a law passed or something happened where you could not make money tomorrow, what would be your run rate? Or how much money do you have left in the bank? Yeah. How long could you keep the lights on and pay everyone for? Yeah. And if you don't have at least 6 months of cash reserves, you're not ready. Yeah. You're still underperforming. Yeah. Good point. And it's crazy because I've got that video on YouTube saying that, and like I had no involvement in COVID. It was not, it wasn't me. I think if there's a conspiracy, I think it was Zoom. I think they're the ones that caused COVID probably. Could be. They had the motive. So, but that's what I always operated as and said, look, if there could be a day, you never know, where you can't make money tomorrow, what would you do then? And if you couldn't relax and survive for 3 to 6 months, your business is not ready to scale. Good point. There's not enough of a cash foundation. You can only scale as high as your foundations are deep, right? Like a tree. So we fortunately did not scale. We kept the 2 locations and we stockpiled cash for a good 2 years, and we put 12 months of cash reserves in each gym.
That's good. Then the
lockdowns hit. Yeah. So, we were upset. We were a bit scared, obviously, but we were relaxed. We didn't have to furlough any team members. We didn't have to, day one, we said to everyone, look, no one's going to get a pay cut. No one's getting fired. We're going to pay your wages guaranteed for the next 6 months. Yeah. That's number one. And a few months in then, we saw a lot of other gyms, businesses all collapsing, all falling down, all running out of money. Because another stat is that 90% of businesses don't even post a profit.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and they're running on less than 1 month of cash flow, of operating cash. Yeah. So I said to my partner, I was like, let's just wait, because in a few months, all we need to do is survive the apocalypse. Yeah. And this is about the time I was learning the story of Aristotle and Onassis. Are you familiar with Aristotle? So Greek, I think a Greek guy, like back in the Second World War time, he became the 5th richest man in the world in 5 years from nothing. Because the story of Aristotle and Onassis, and I teach this now to entrepreneurs, is that back when the Second World War was going on, or the first or second, I think it was the First World War maybe. Basically, when the war was happening, boats couldn't go out. So, at the time, boats and marinas and shop fronts around marinas were all became liabilities. Yeah. Right? Not only were you not making money from those things, but you were actually paying, because you're paying for a boat, you're paying for the insurance, you're paying to dock it there. It's costing you money to keep this thing, and a war is going on. You don't know when you're able to go back out of the seas. And so, people were literally panicking over this stuff. But Aristotle did some calculations and said, well, I think, the war is going to end eventually, probably within 2 to 3 years. And he theorized that after the war, ships and shipping would be more global than ever. right? He said, we're going to become more globalized after this. So he then went out and he didn't have to pay for most. He basically, because if you've got a ship that's costing you money, he's like, I'll do you a favor and take it off your hands. Yeah. Plus this storefront, plus this marina. And he took up as much shipping assets as he could.
Crazy.
Sat on them for 2 years. Yeah. Got them at bargain basement undervalued rates. Yeah. And then when the war did end, the world did become more globalized, because then, German soldiers who were in Italy, now they wanted pizza, and, the Brits wanted German beer and things like that. And so cross importing of goods blew up after the war. And he became the richest man in the world from those assets within 5 years. So I took that lesson, and we teach that now when we teach coaches to learn about the skills of growth by acquisition. Acquiring other companies or assets is the fastest way to grow your business. Yeah. So going back to the gyms then, we theorized, we said, look, we don't know how long this COVID's going to go on for, but we have to make a choice. Either it's going to be over within 1 year and think gyms are going to open back up again and people are going to come back into fitness more than ever before, maybe. Yeah. Or they're not going to open and we're all fucked anyway. Yeah. So right now, I said, we've got all the money in the bank. We are now able to go, we've got dry powder to go shopping with. Now is the time we can go and buy other gyms and workout equipment. We can buy everything really undervalued right now. Yeah. Best time to buy a gym is when they're closing and going out of business, right? In COVID. And I said, it's a coin toss. Either we go and buy all these gyms and things open up and then we flip them all into profit quickly. Yeah. Or we don't and we're fucked. But if we don't, we're going to be fucked anyway and lose our 2 gyms. So we did it. We went with it, and we acquired, I think, 3 or 4 gyms. We went out and said, hey, if you're struggling with your gym business, you don't know what to do, we'll buy the asset. We'll buy it off you at asset value. Yeah. And we'll actually pay you to retain the coach, became just the manager who'd work for us then. Yeah. Or in some cases, they might even keep a share of the business. Yeah. So the lockdowns happened. We went under. We had 2 gyms when things closed. By the time things opened up again, we had 7 locations. Yeah. Then we turned into a franchise. We had 15 the year after. Yeah. Now, at time of recording this, it's 2024. We have 28 locations right now. Wow. So literally from 2 locations in 2020 to 28 locations. So 20x in the business in 4 years.
It's fast. Yeah.
Through COVID, because of COVID. So we learned a lot of lessons, and we're learning a lot of lessons. Now we're scaling from a mid-7 to 8-figure company. Yeah. And there's a whole other ball game of lessons now. But we learned a lot about the 6, there's definitely phases to go from 0 to 6 figures, 6 to 7 figures, 7 to 8. And what gets you there will not get you to the next step, right? Yeah. So we've learned a lot through that. And that brings us to the present day pretty much. That's kind of where I am. I'm still helping, consulting other coaches, experts, fitness professionals, and other types of coaches and experts around the world. And sharing these lessons on. Yeah.
It's a great story. Jeez. That story you told, I didn't hear about, but it's actually it makes total sense. I mean, it's a great analogy to the COVID time. I mean, it multiplied your business pretty much. It's a great story. I actually met talking about boats one day. It's a completely side story, because before we jump into a lot of points of that, because I have a lot of questions as well. But I'm not sure if I ever told that story on the podcast. I'll just do it again. And I was invited from one of my business partners and a guy working with me. They were from Dubai here in Cyprus, like 3 months ago, or something like that. And they were saying, my friend here, he's having an event in the park lane in Limassol. We need to fill out the room. Like, okay, that's the story I got. It's like, can you come on the Saturday? Nope. Yo, sure, man. I'll come. Whatever it is about, I'll be there. So I'm driving to Limassol, and I'll see my 2 friends there, and they were looking really pale. They didn't look good. It's like they got a virus. They were shitting their pants, literally. It's like, dude, I'm leaving. We need to go to the doctor. I said, all right, man. See you later. So I was sitting there, and calling them, are you coming back? Because I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I don't know the guy. I don't know anybody here. No, man, we're sick. We're out. Like, see you the next days. Then this guy I met, their friend, who's having this speech, whatever it is about, is like, come on, man. Can you, like, we need to buy some time. Can you start the event? And he just walks by like, go. It's like, what is it about? I don't know the topic, nothing. I didn't know nothing. So I was just going in the room, like, I would say 30, 50, 40 people in there. And it's like sitting on the, like, just sit here, stand here. That's it. Like, and the people are like looking at me, and then they're starting asking me questions about boat business, about business in general. I was like, come on, like, and I'm like I'm answering questions, like just trying to play it cool. Under the table, I'm texting my guys, like, what is this event about, dude? Like, and I got like a little bit pissed, and I was like, what the people, like, they're asking me questions and all that stuff. It's like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I was like telling about my businesses, which were completely unrelated to any boat business. But anyway, they were asking questions. Then a strange guy came in, and everybody was like, oh, cool. And he was sitting next to me, and he just started talking, like asking me questions. Like, fuck's sake, what does he want, man? I'm pissed. I just want to get out of here. And then we were talking like 10 minutes, and it was actually a nice guy. Where you asked like very weird questions. And at some point I was like, those questions are like very high level questions. But anyway, I wanted to get out. Turned out that was the actual reason for the whole event. It's the richest Greek in the world, and he owns the biggest boat business. I forgot his name, and George probably.
George Soros.
It could be that guy.
Wow.
And he came literally.
He owns half the world.
Yeah, and he came from Joe Biden. He consulted Joe Biden like a day or two before.
Right, George Soros.
And I was like talking with him like 10 minutes, but I was like hangry. Like that type of talk, and he's like, "Oh man," and then everybody was, "Oh man, you met that guy? Like, do you know him?" It's like, "No man, I just met him." So super weird. It went in the first pause. I just left, and I was thinking afterwards, maybe I should have just swapped numbers with that guy, like whatever. It was super funny, like just talking about boats. So boat business obviously is a big one. Oh, fuck, it was weird.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But anyway. Coming back to use like all the 28 locations, they're all in Cyprus and
all in the UK.
All in the UK.
Yeah.
And all over UK, or where were they?
Yeah, mostly a lot. We started in the northeast of England, around Manchester. So from there, and then through our acquisitions, we then ended up going further afield to London and the north of Wales. So we acquired a couple of gyms there. So,
nice,
yeah. We don't like to be too far stretched out, but now with the franchise model, we're able now to take people further afield because they will do most of the work.
Yeah.
Whereas before, when we were all corporate,
it
was just how far our corporate team could stretch.
Yeah.
So we're all over the UK, and we're looking for 150 locations in the UK first.
Wow.
We're not going to spread to the Europe or anything yet. That's going to be, that would add just too much complexity.
Big step
at this point. Yeah.
Big step. How long does it take to like take a business or take a gym and make it profitable? Let's.
Well, for us, it'll be on day one within 3 months now, but that's
like 3 months.
We've got them. Yeah. Because it's a gym business is a very high profit, low overhead, nice business if you do it properly. Yeah. So we have like boutique training studios, more like a CrossFit box kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not these big global gyms. Yeah. Those things take forever to profit, but we'll set up a location for about 50K all in. And
that's including all equipment, like everything. Yeah.
Setup, refurbishment. What takes longer is the time, like planning permission, licenses, getting and training staff, the property to get done up. But about 50K setup cost, and then when we run our advertising funnel, we'll launch, and the typical gym will make about 60K on day one.
Really?
In front end sales, and then the back end.
What's a monthly average? What a gym makes?
So depending on the size of it, we kind of go in phases of the business. But on average, a 2,000 square foot location, which is what we aim for, would house about, we look for 150 to 200 members in each. Each of those paying 170 to 200 a month, plus front end sales, plus supplement upsells, and things like that. So usually we aim for about 40 to 60K a month.
It's nice. Yeah.
With about 30% margin after year 2.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How much is the supplement add-on? Is that a big?
Yeah, because we have a system. We have our upsell system in place where we convert about 70 to 80% of our clients onto a recurring supplement auto ship package.
Smart, yeah.
That of course depends on what margins you can get on the supplements. That's the only limiting factor with that.
Yeah.
So we can make about 30% margin if we buy enough wholesale.
That's good.
We're fortunate. We made our own supplement brand.
Yeah. You have, yeah?
Yeah. So it's our own supplement brand.
What's it called?
Hardwired.
Hardwired. I don't know that.
Yeah. After the Metallica song.
Ah.
So we built that. We kept that as a separate brand to the gyms, and our franchisees. They're required in the contract. They buy 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of stock every month of that as well. So that's actually a really good side business because now we're selling wholesale to 28 different locations.
Yeah.
And that's business in itself then as well, which is pretty
smart.
Cool.
Yeah. We're like, because I'm super interested in general, like I'm a sports fanatic and big into fitness and all that stuff as well. Consumed a lot of supplements in my life. Like where is it produced? Like, is it UK?
In the UK.
Yeah. UK produced. Because I had a friend back in Germany who was a personal trainer and did exactly, or still does exactly, or had a couple of friends actually, what you were describing at the beginning. Like you're renting out the space in studios, like for, I don't know, a couple of hundred a month, and you get your clients there. And he started one day a supplement company. And I told him back then, dude, don't do it. Because what he was trying to do, there's one like strength coach in Germany. He's very famous in the whole world, like Wolfgang Unselt. I don't know if you know, whatever. I trained with him as well. Great coach. And he he has a supplement company as well. And it's very expensive supplements. Not quantitative. Like he goes to the qualitative side, so very high price, not a lot of things, and he tried to replicate that. And I back then I told him, like, why should any client buy your stuff? It's the same price like the ones they are used to. And he went to Sweden, he went to Germany to produce all of that made in Germany. I mean, it's going to cost a lot. So yeah, at the end didn't.
Yeah, it's not a model I recommend most people. I've had some guys, I've worked with a couple of influencers, like fitness guys who want to start their own brand. They've got 1 million followers on Instagram and they just think it's going to be easy to make their own. And on one hand, it's good because they're perfectionists. They want to make a high quality product, which is
good. Yeah.
But I'm like, you're going to spend 20K in R&D alone.
Yeah.
And then when you do get it, you're just going to get undercut or oversold by other people.
Yeah. And
so, yeah, it's a tough business to get into, especially if you're a very perfectionist about the product.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you've got the buyers ready for it in advance, and you can afford those margins, but there's easier ways to make money.
Yeah, definitely the easier. It's a very competitive market, and supplements also. I mean, there's My Protein and everybody. We were talking about that, like, was it last week or the week before when we met in Cap St. George? It's like there's this ESN and more from Germany, like I think Quality Group,
and that's why for us the supplements were just part of the strategy. I wouldn't usually go into making a supplement business and try and sell it on Amazon or anything like that, because it's just not saying it can't be done, but there's easier ways to get going. It takes a lot of investment, but we just looked at we have our own client base. And we're going to be opening several gyms who will all be our wholesale customers. Yeah. So, on that regard, it makes sense. You already have you have the distribution funnel ready to go.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a lot more profitable.
Definitely.
But if you're starting out with no audience for it or anything like that, don't do it.
No, don't do it. Definitely not. So it's very weird because I'm just thinking of all the gyms I know in Germany, and they still don't sell any protein shakes or whatsoever in the gyms. Like there's more big gyms, as you say, like different kind of gyms coming up where you can also buy some ESO drinks and all that stuff. But
maybe they're not making the margins because whey protein has gone up massively in price as well since COVID because of lack of distribution and things. So we now have to sell our protein tubs. They were £49 before, and about £35 wholesale for cost for us to buy. We would sell at 49 or 45. Now our tubs, we have to put them up to like £54 now because whey protein has gone up like 20%. So the margins just cut down on them.
Shit.
And what we have to do to make profit on that is selling the supplement stack. Plus selling recurring shipping. So we'll sell a stack that goes along each month, a month's supply. Protein, you're going to make maybe a 15 to 20% margin if you're lucky, but then you supplement the supplement with other supplements. So we'll have 2 or 3 other products where we make big margins, like pre-workout.
That's a big one, no?
That's a product. If you want to sell a product, go for pre-workout.
Well, why?
So £8 for a tub with 60 servings.
Super expensive, yeah.
We can either sell that tub for 35, or what we do in the gyms is we actually we'll make a bunch of like 20 pre-workout shots on a tray.
Oh, they're expensive.
Sell for £3 each. So now a 60 serving tub, we make £90 out of.
Shit. Yeah.
More than 180.
Yeah.
So, if we sell every one of the 60 servings for £3 each to the customers.
Makes sense.
We'll go through a tub a day. Cost us £8. We make 150 quid or more.
Yeah. Well, that's where the margin is.
Yeah. So pre-workout, multivitamins, BCAAs, things like that. They're the 40% margin products.
They're expensive. Yeah. They're expensive.
So you put all that into a stack with the protein, and then you'll get a good average of 35, 40% margin. And then people are paying you auto. We say you're gonna need a top up every month.
Yeah.
So just pay us. You get a 10% discount on auto billing. And every month then. Crazy. So now we've got 2 memberships in the gym. They're paying for their fitness membership
plus the supplement.
Plus they're gonna come in and collect their supplements once a month too.
I'd be such a typical customer.
Yeah. And it's simple things like this that you can do in any industry.
Yeah.
We're talking about fitness, but it goes for any industry. Can find a way to create recurring revenue subscriptions like this. I know like barbershops do this now.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Some high-end barbershops will.
I haven't been at the barbershop for a long time.
It's look, if you've got customers coming in, they say, look, you're coming in every 3-4 weeks for a cut and you're paying €30.
Yeah.
Why not we put you on, 26 a month recurring. Then you are guaranteed to get 12 billings as the barber, even because remember the customer's not going to come in all the time.
Yeah,
they might go away for a month. They might not come back. So, but to the customer, it's easier just to know it's automatically coming out, and you say you can just come in as much as you want for that. Yeah. They're not going to come in every week. They're not going to exploit you, obviously, unless they want to be bold. Like you, you might be a bad person to sell it to, but people that keep their hair. They're going to come in every 3 to 4, 5 weeks, but you've now got paid regardless. Yeah. So you can apply this to any business.
Yeah. Do you think because recurring revenue is such a buzzword and has such an importance for every business, is that one of the success factors scaling the business? Yeah.
I mean, it's becoming a buzzword now, which is strange for me because in fitness, gym memberships, we've done this since the 70s. So we're
true.
What is everyone else talking about? Why is this a big buzzword? It's doesn't everyone do this? So obviously we're all about memberships and MRR, monthly recurring revenue, because any industry needs to find a way to program this in at some level. Yeah. Because even if you're a consultant, right, and you're going to have your higher ticket individualized clients, but after a certain point, you still want to factor in a recurring subscription diet or a light model of what you do. Because recurring revenue is going to, let's take a step back. If we're talking about a lot of the biggest difference between scaling from 6 figures to 7 figures, I think, is looking at equity value. 0 to 6 figures, it's just about revenue and profit, right? You got to make money, keep money. 6 to 7 figures really comes from looking at equity value. What's the equity of your company worth? Yeah. Because we all know that the common problems, right, is time for money trap. Too much of the business relies on you. You don't have good enough profits to hire other people. Yeah. not enough systems in place. So if you did hire them, they do a bad job anyway.
Yeah.
All these, essentially though, this is all related to equity, because your company is worth more when those symptoms disappear.
Yeah.
If you say, well, my business, no, it's totally streamlined.
Yeah.
Anyone can come in and follow the process.
Yeah.
It's profitable to raise the EBITDA of the company and doesn't depend on me.
Yeah.
If you have those things, the equity of your business is worth 5 to 10 times more.
Yeah.
In fact, it's worth infinitely more, because if it does depend on you, the business is worth nothing.
Exactly.
And I know that's why I say I recommend all coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs all learn how to buy and sell companies. Because if you don't, it's very hard to grow a business if you don't know how to first buy and sell one.
Yeah.
So, and this is where I went down the path with Aristotle and Assis and learning how to evaluate companies and things like that.
Very interesting.
Because ultimately, I tell people, we're going to build your business as if you were going to sell it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you want to or not. Because we need to build a business. We need to put the systems in place, make it profitable so you can pay people to run those systems, and then move you into a leadership role so the business can actually meet its targets and grow and stay profitable with no more than 5 hours a week of your time, which is 1 hour a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're spending more than an hour a day leading your team, you're just getting in the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you should be, you know what it's like, right? And
Yeah.
you try and micromanage, and your team are like, why are you here, Patrick? Like, let me do my work. What the fuck do you want?
I hear that every day.
Right? So that's good. That's what you want. It's bittersweet, but you should get the business to where the team don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
And you should be twiddling your thumbs a bit.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because now your only job that means you likely have a company that has good equity now.
Yeah.
It means it has good scaling or selling potential.
Yeah.
Doesn't depend on you. It's an asset now, not a job.
Yeah.
This is then going from 6 to 7 figures now. Really becomes about getting, either getting money for that equity or getting access to capital, which is based on your equity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should get to, a mid to high 6-figure business, get it to have the systems, finances, and independence from you. And then you're going to quickly scale to 7 or even 8 figures because you can go and find an investor, find a buyer.
Yeah.
An investor is going to pay you more money for a 10% cut because you can see it doesn't depend on me. I'm not a bottleneck.
Yeah.
And, or you've got the profits to hire the rockstar team members you need at this level. Yeah. So ultimately you've got to build the equity value, meaning it's profitable and works without you.
Yeah.
That's the only way to scale. And I think that's the 6-figure ceiling.
Yeah.
Is there's not enough equity value.
Yeah.
Which is because of the fact that it all depends too much on you.
Completely agree. Is that something that you see in the gyms that you take over?
Every business.
Every business.
So the reason we go back to why companies scale they fail because they scale too quick. It's because they haven't got the right systems. The systems are not battle tested. They've not got enough profits there to actually pay leaders to come in. Or it just depends too much on them and their reliability.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest things I've realized now is going from 6 to 7 figures, you can learn as the owner, you can learn enough about the basic stuff to get it to 7 figures, right? Yeah. You can learn enough about marketing. Yeah. You can learn enough about sales. Yeah. You can learn enough about operations, right? And you'll zigzag the business kind of where you want to get to. What we've learned now going from like 7 figures into 8 is that you need skills in the business that you possibly cannot learn.
Yeah.
You need to hire people who are smarter than you.
Yeah, completely agree.
So I was on, our friend Max's podcast, Max Tornow podcast. We had this conversation, and he was asking about, do I still invest in mentors?
Yeah.
And of course I do to a degree. But I said the biggest mindset shift for me now, going up from 7 figures upwards, is that I invest in mentors as employees. Meaning, I need someone who's now a rock star in human resources because I don't know how to manage 50 employees. Yeah. I can't go and learn that in a Udemy course. No, you can. I can learn how to do sales objections. I can learn how to run a Facebook ad, but I can't learn how to manage 50 employees. I need someone who's got 20 years experience and is going to demand a 6-figure salary for that. Yeah. So they're the people now that I can actually learn from.
Super interesting.
And I'd rather invest in, paying them a 120K salary to work in my company.
Yeah.
And I'll sit in the meetings and get my pen and paper out and say, right, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm going to take notes. I want to learn from you.
Hire smarter people. I think Steve Jobs always said that, right? No?
Yeah. So it's now hiring the mentors, but will actually work for you. And that's the real gap. I think why people can't scale above 7 figures usually.
From 7 to 8. Yeah.
They don't put the leadership team in place. There's just, you need financial controllers, strategists, people that are just way beyond you that you can't learn that level.
It's too deep in their field of knowledge. Yeah.
And so the reason then that most coaches at 6 figures or even 7 figures can't make that jump, and it's a quantum leap to 8 figures, because you need to get those experts, those 6-figure experts in your company. But of course, if you haven't got the profit margins, where are you gonna pay? And because the company is going to grow, you can grow it through hustle and basic systems up to like 7 figures. Yeah. But what's going to happen is then your marketing department needs a 6-figure leader. Yeah. Your fulfillment needs a 6-figure leader, and your operations need a 6-figure leader. So you need 3 6-figure salaries at the same time. Yeah. So even if you could afford one person, you'll hire the world's greatest marketing CEO.
Still something.
They'll send 1 million customers to you, but your fulfillment will fuck it all up. Yeah. Right? Or the books won't be balanced. Yeah. So that's the ceiling, because you need a leadership team, which is going to cost you probably 400 to 500K at once. Yeah. Yep. And therefore, the majority of businesses, either they'll just about have if they do everything right, they'll just about have enough profit to do that. Yeah. Or what's more likely, most of the time, you're going to need outside capital to give you that little push of money. Yeah. And you're only going to get that if there is equity value.
Makes total sense.
So that's what I've seen at my current level of ignorance, that the pathway is getting there, which is not taught on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just trying to think. It's like pretty much the same learning curve that we did in our in my previous company groups. Like we were scratching at the 8 figures, ultimately reaching it, but it took us also some time, because as you say, go into 7 figures, like from 6, no problem. That you can do, you can reach it by hustling through. But one of the biggest challenges was building that management layer like underneath you, because you really need to extract you from the operative business side, which you're used to do, to really having the knowledge leaders, as you say, in place. Marketing, sales was probably the most challenging part, because we got people from, remember, IBM and all these 150K salary, never worked, because we didn't have. Back then, we didn't have the structures, the processes in place that they can actually perform. And once you had that, then the business is actually scaling, right? Because you are really extracting yourself, and you can see marketing is working, sales is working, fulfillment, delivery, support teams, and IT and everything. It's the same jazz in the IT field that you're describing. And what I'm also seeing with a lot of people or businesses that I work with is getting from the 6 to 7 figure mark, or getting first of all to the 6-figure mark. It's rather easy. Going from the 6 to 7 figure mark, you have to have the structures and processes. That's what I'm building. And I completely agree with the fact that scaling too fast, if you don't have that fundamental basis, and the financial.
It's the 3 Ps: people, profits, processes.
Absolutely.
That's what you need.
That's great.
And you could add on product as well. Yeah. Right, product. If your product's shit, obviously, then it doesn't matter. But
that's true. I mean, that's what I'm also preaching. If you want to go over the 7 figures, you have to have the stability. What does it mean? First of all, you have to have a sales pipeline, a customer pipeline. How to get that? You have to have lead generation in place. You cannot rely on your network or other partners to constantly deliver you some clients, because in the IT field, it's very common that the companies up to 50 people or higher with a couple of million in revenue still rely on the network. So you gotta have lead generation and sales in place. But in order to do that, You have to have a service or a standardized service, a productized service, or a product. What do most companies do? Sell their time, sell their skill for time and money, basically. 150, 200, 250 euros an hour for whatsoever kind of consulting or development. Very difficult to scale over 7 figures because the only scalable factor is time. Time equals more people. Can you hire unlimited people? No, you can't. So it's a limit. It's a limiting factor. You're then starting to have more packaged services where you can serve more clients with less people. You have a way higher leverage effect on that. I also have a YouTube video about really explaining in IT field how to go to 1 million. And if you have that in place, then the company starts making more profits. You have the financial stability. As you also say, having 6 to 12 months on the bank to pay people. I that was also always one of my highest goals in terms of a business owner, that whatever happens, I want to have at least 6 months in the bank.
So what I teach is that it comes down to your SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal to the company, and threats and opportunities are what's external to the company. So I tie that in on our quarterly and annual reviews to the cash flow, because ultimately COVID showed us that to protect yourself against threats or take advantage of opportunities, there's only one thing that matters: cash.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to talk about this. So in COVID, everyone pops up on Facebook. The key to surviving COVID is you got to have the right sales process. The key is going high ticket. The key is, and I was like, no guys, the key is cold, hard fucking cash.
Yeah.
If you have cash, you will be okay.
Yeah.
If you do not, you are bankrupt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about your sales process or your pricing or your customer service or
whatever,
your spiritual meditations or anything. You need cash.
Yeah.
We have to stop pretending this is not a factor, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I taught people. I said, and I teach that 0 to 6 months or 3 to 6 months worth of cash in reserve protects you from threats.
Yeah.
Or mitigates threats.
Yeah.
But 6 to 12 months allows you to maximize opportunities.
True. Makes sense.
So 6 months is okay.
Yeah.
You'll it's your shield.
Yeah.
You will take the blows and
Yeah.
pay your staff and mitigate the threat,
Yeah.
not having to sack anybody maybe. But like us, if you have 6 to 12 months, you have spending money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You maximize the opportunity, the Aristotle's opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, I can just buy this gym and buy that gym, or I can, get cheap labor, or I can do this, or I can.
Really true. Yeah.
And for anyone thinking, maybe this doesn't apply in a consulting sense, if you have more of an online business, it totally does. Because I had experts at the same time. If you're like purely online, not with physical locations, then the equivalent then is you can just buy undervalued assets.
Yeah.
So I worked with a lot of people in this time who, to grow their audience online, would buy now defunct or disengaged Instagram accounts or newsletters or audiences.
Yeah.
So I would help someone, for example, what industry was it? I think it was so I had like a dentist, a guy who was an Israeli dentist. He had 3 very private practices, making over $1 million a year, very sensible guy. And, in his case, we looked for the opportunities at the time. And in his city, there was a Facebook group, like a typical so-and-so city people.
Yeah.
Nothing to do, just a group with 20,000 people in there.
Yeah.
Just random local people posting in there about what's on in the city, places to go, things like that. And through the COVID times, I said, now people are going to be most likely to sell or part ways with their assets than ever. You got 20,000 local people who I'm guessing they all have teeth, right? So they're your ideal customer, right? And so we approached the admin of the group and offered them $5,000 to buy the entire group. They were like, wow, I need money. I need cash right now because I'm selling off my watch. The guy was, in a financial state, because most people are. And we went and identified to the Facebook group owner, hey, this is an asset you have on your hands. We'll pay you $5,000 for it right now if you need the cash. they were more than happy. They'd spent 7 years building this group.
That's a long
7 years of work. We just paid for 5K. And now he has a list of 20,000 local people. So guess who the main sponsor and poster in that group is now? It's Whitey Smiles, Tooth Dental Clinic. Right? So you could buy Instagram accounts. You could buy faceless Instagram pages. You could buy all these things. You can, email lists. You can acquire all this stuff now. Doesn't have to be physical locations.
Yeah. It's the same in the IT consulting sphere. We could buy Microsoft lead lists from other companies using Microsoft Dynamics or SAP or whatsoever. We bought those lists.
Or even probably you could even look at buying projects of other companies, right? If they're in the middle of a project maybe and they can't fulfill anymore or they have problems in the company, you can say, oh, well, we'll buy you out and we'll continue the project.
Also possible, also existing those. There's even platforms where you can find those kind of companies. Definitely. Yeah. Just cold leads as well, as you say, in email newsletters or all that kind of stuff that worked as well. You can buy it, but if you have the equity, right?
So you got that you got the 12 months cash there, then you could take advantage of all these opportunities. And I think the biggest recession is coming up. I think we're not even COVID is going to be a drop in the ocean. We're going to have the big recession coming up. I think from next year onwards. So blood is going to be on the streets again. Yeah. And customers will tighten their wallets and people will be downgrading. And again, this is the time. We always say, build your cash in the good economy. Yeah. Yeah. And then you buy assets in the bad economy. Yeah. That's a good. And the cycle keeps repeating. Yeah. And so, I mean, even if we've even taken some of our company money and bought crypto with it. Yeah. Even if it's just a case of looking at buying undervalued assets like crypto right now through your business to protect your profits. So next year, do the whole Michael Saylor. Yeah. If you don't know Michael Saylor, he's he on his companies he's put like billions of dollars of company profits into Bitcoin. Yeah. And his company has grown more in 5 years just by holding Bitcoin than they have actually made through selling to customers. Because it's all added to the assets of the company.
Of course, that makes sense. Huh?
Even looking at that right now, you could if your company bought crypto right now and held it for the next 5 years, you could take a 20% dip in customer profits through a bad economy, but you'll make 30% in Bitcoin increase. Yeah.
Smart again. Smart again. It's true. The recession is coming, so people need to buckle up. Or businesses need to buckle up because we can in the IT sphere, we can already see this year. It's what I hear all the time. Like the market is not working. It's very difficult. Blah 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 blah. The IT market is increasing globally by 6%. So there's more and more projects coming over, but there's obviously also more competitors coming on the market. What I tell my clients or potential clients, you need to stand out, right? Again, it comes back to what benefit are you serving to your customer? If it's just your time for a skill, you're exchangeable. You're a resource. There's an
Indian probably guy. You're getting diluted by lower cost labor who will learn to do the same thing.
That's what happens. So there's more competitors coming from the outside. And they're undercutting massively. So there is projects, there's enough customers. Maybe they're a little bit more cautious, but you need to provide like a bigger sense of benefit. And it's not just the time. And that's such a big, it goes for every kind of business, any kind of industry, that mindset switch.
We used to pay, £1,000 a month for Facebook ads managers to manage all our ad accounts. Yeah. Now we just train a VA for $300 a month to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is these days. Yeah. And you can
website building, funnel building, like software. It's all, or even just the tech itself. We use a platform like High Level. Yeah. As like a CRM. We used to pay 3 times as much in other softwares, but now the tech is coming out. Yeah. That just do it all. And then you got AI. The things that AI will do in 5 years is.
It's like unimaginable
for online fitness coaches. Yeah. There's one app now. You push one button and it creates the entire program for clients.
I was going to say that. I get the ads all the time. And I say, look what AI has done to my body. Like crazy.
Yeah. So you got to, especially in tech, you've got to be very aware of AI and, and I always say though, AI will not replace your job, but it will replace the person who's doing the job. Yes. So you need to you can build incorporate AI into your business and sell it and deploy it and make more money.
That's it. I don't think that AI is going to replace the consulting or whatsoever, but it's gonna be an add-on. You need to incorporate.
I mean, I don't think it can replace it, but I mean, you've seen what they can do with avatar influencers now, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Oh yeah, that's a big
the top consultants. So I've got friends I got a couple of guys from Germany who run a social media agency, and they build reels for people.
Yeah.
And they're playing with the AI stuff. And what they can do now is they can. This is all like cheap tech. So one of these guys shows a clip. He records a podcast clip like this.
Yeah.
Of saying like blah blah blah. Here's top 10 tips to grow your reels, and then he's created an animated version of himself that lip syncs and says the same thing.
Yeah.
So now essentially he can go to ChatGPT, have it write me 100 podcast episodes, script it out, go to the AI voice synthesizer that reads it in his voice, and then has his digital avatar speak it on video.
Crazy.
So technically you can do this right now as a coach or expert, and that'll just get more realistic looking over time, right? So crazy. It won't be long until you can actually have a video version of yourself that I can have literally automatically recording 100 podcasts a day for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here doing nothing. So think of the big names who will do that. The Tony Robbins, I don't know who's Bob Proctor. Is he still alive? I don't know. But the ones that, the ones that are still going, those guys who have the means for it. I mean, they did it with artists or like Michael Jackson holograms. Already. It'll be the top influencers next who start doing that. And you'll have Tony Robbins avatars because he'll be too old.
Yeah.
He'll be 80, retired, but you'll still get the 47-year-old Tony Robbins avatar. On video and on stage, right? Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to go.
I think it's very, very interesting.
So I'm not saying the majority won't adopt it. Like, I mean, most businesses don't even have a website funnel yet, but the majority won't. It's not like, one person is going to replace you tomorrow, but people will be making hedgeways into this. Consulting is going to be diluted to an AI space. So it is a fragment of competition that is going to take some market share. You have to be aware
100%.
So I like what you're doing. I think the biggest differentiator is going to be with your clients is making the community aspect and getting people in for live events and bringing people to Cyprus and creating those experiences. Like that is what is really going to help you stand apart.
That's the point.
It's not even to do with the product.
No.
It's the stuff that's not about how to make this one system better. Is actually what other needs do your customers have that are not being fulfilled.
And that's something that you can do in person, right? If you meet them, if you go on your retreats, masterminds, as we are planning in November, then, and that's where you can really have or generate a benefit for your clients and stand out to the competition, AI, and all that jazz. 100%. Fun fact though, like, on the last podcast, I had Alex, and he's big in AI. He had this pricing. His company is now evaluated over 9 digits. So he's doing a good job working with him for quite some time, helping his business. And we created a digital version of me.
So you can quit now.
How to say it? Like, no, we're gonna obviously we have different we have one-to-one clients, we have group clients and all that stuff. So there will be a digital product that we'll be bringing out where I support with my digital version clients, which obviously can buy in for a cheaper price, same kind of program and everything, but. And the weird thing is,
is it like
you can ask
that chatbot?
It's a chatbot,
like the OnlyFans girl did.
Yeah, like something like you have it in WhatsApp and Telegram. It's already integrated. It's like it's a digital. The cool thing is, it gives better answers than me because what the AI, and he trained them for quite a while. Beginning of the year, I think like 3 months or something like. He consumed literally everything I know I ever created, everything. And if you ask him something, he gives better answer than me. I actually sometimes ask myself how to answer this question I'm getting, and he just gives a better answer because I would be thinking, and sometimes you're in a good mood, you get a good answer. Sometimes you're in a bad mood, like
Or it can give an equal answer, but faster.
Exactly.
To
24/7.
20,000 people at once.
Exactly. So you can serve way more people 24/7. I mean, and then again, it's not a replacement. It's an add-on, right?
Yeah.
You can just help even more. So I find it fascinating because I was not sure like how good of a version it is better than you, and that's scary as well, as you say.
I mean, in
like,
10 years, people will be watching this on YouTube and will be wondering, like, is this really Patrick I'm seeing right now? Or is it an AI bot or something? Like,
you wouldn't know.
Cyborg droid, or is it uploaded his consciousness to the podcast or something?
Wouldn't know anymore. I mean,
We have
these
no
days,
idea.
I mean, we could be AIs by this point, just talking here.
Well,
but
there's a rabbit hole you can go down. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Based
great.
reality.
The Matrix, right? The Matrix. Who knows? But yeah, shit, that's crazy. You really think like I'm just like trying to think of the future that like Tony Robbins, the digital AI is going to be on stage. People still going.
Well, what do you think's going to happen? Tony is what, 70 now, maybe?
I don't know. He's like,
You think the business of Tony Robbins, which I'm pretty sure he has a few shareholders as well, you think if he just quits now or has an illness or, drops dead, let's say at 80, you think they're going to go, oh, well, UPW is finished.
nah, that's true.
Let's move on.
Yeah, that's true. That's
This like $6 billion a year company. Oh, well, it's that. Tony's gone now. Forget about it. No more events. No more platinum. No. Come on now.
True.
It's going to be, right, get the hologram.
Yeah,
Tony's going on stage next year, whether we like it or not.
true.
They're not going to stop the money machine of the what do you call it, like the personal AI, the personal trademark.
But then again, what breaks it down, or what it's the personal brand behind, right? The brand that you created. I mean, you can't just Tony Robbins is a huge brand, but it applies to all other businesses, right? You have to have created a brand to stick out from the masses of competitors. That's in the fitness industry. I assume the same, like in the consulting industry, because if you're just one of the bazillion companies that do SAP consulting and we have 20 people that can do the projects. Wow. Like I can get Indians who, charge 30 euros an hour instead of 200 as a company perspective, as a client perspective, is what I am also always trying. Put yourself in the other person or other business's perspective. If you are compared just, again, time versus money, skill for time, less cheaper price, higher price, what would you pick? It's easy to pick if there's no additional benefit, and then it relates to the fact there's no real brand created. The company doesn't stand for something unique, like something that creates a benefit.
And I think branding is like so it's overlooked. But I think also it's because it's misunderstood. It's such a vague concept to most people. Nobody really can. Everyone has different definitions, if they have one, of what branding actually is. And we're seeing this more in the conversation now because, are you familiar with the 5 stages of market sophistication?
Go on, come again.
Put me on the spot now, but so
we have Google.
any market, right? If you start a new service, it goes through stages of sophistication. So the first one is just like, you make let's say we're going with very quick example, hairdressers, right? The first person who ever opened a hair salon was like, hey, I do haircuts. Everyone's like, wow, I'm going to work with you, right? Don't have to do anything. After stage 2, you get kind of imitation then. Other people go, I do haircuts too. And I do them cheaper. Oh, okay. Everyone goes over there. The third level then is we have to have more of like an offer distinction, a value distinction, which is, I do haircuts too, but I have a 30-day money back guarantee. Ah, okay, right. So that's why you're different to the other, the cheap guy or the other guy. Stage 4 is when everyone's doing a 30-day money back guarantee. The next level of innovation, when the markets are the customers are more sophisticated now, and there's more options. The next level up is the companies that talk more about the process of what they do. And they start talking about, well, our cuts are the best because of our patented system or technology. My 3-step razor cut or my Gillette Mac 3. So what did Gillette do in a saturated commodity like razors? Mach 3 technology and all the, you see the adverts, all the diagrams and shit, like it's all bullshit, right? It's a fucking razor. But they make people go, ooh, their razor has the patented orange strip, which is 3% better for my face or whatever, right? And all this nonsense. But that's what consumers need to make a decision because they're so overwhelmed. Stage 5, if an industry gets to stage 5, it's ultimately branding effect. Yeah. That's where you have super mature industries like toothpaste.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's the brand in toothpaste?
Yeah, Colgate. Yeah.
Vodka.
Yeah, yeah. Smirnoff,
Absolute, right?
Absolute.
So those companies have hit stage 5. Nike, Apple.
Yeah.
It's just about brand purely at that point. Brand is the only differentiator because it's an industry that's so mature that virtually anyone can get into the market. Yeah. Anyone can sell a knockoff product. Everyone kind of knows what it is. People don't need to learn about what is toothpaste. They kind of know about it. So now I believe because companies are rapidly expanding so quickly, particularly service-based companies, which typically service-based companies in the past would only really hover between phases 1 to 3. Yeah. They'd get to a 3, like my service is the best because of my risk reversal or my offer. Yeah. Maybe step 4, I have this patented 5-step system that helps IT consultants scale better than the next guy does. But we never really touched on brand. There is no branded coaching consulting businesses. Maybe Tony Robbins Institute, maybe Procter Gallagher. Yeah. But they're nothing compared to Apple's and Nike's.
Nothing. Yeah, that's true.
Because the consulting industry is still relatively new. The mature industries are more in the products and commodities, true. Low ticket, low cost item industries. So now though, because of the last 10 years specifically with super cheap media ads, super cheap website technology, we can now build funnels and websites for $47. Yeah. Cost $10K for a website before. Yeah. So the internet, the last 15 years or so, has sped things up for guys like us to quickly now make these 6-7 figure companies. I can go put a Facebook ad up and filling a gym with 60 high paying clients on day 1 was not possible 20 years ago. There was not the means of technology and distribution to get the message. Yeah. You just put an ad in the newspaper, and that's all you get, right? So because now technology is allowing expert companies and consultants to scale so quickly. Yeah. We're heading towards stage 5 and the conversation is picking up a lot more about brand and stuff. And guys like Gary V, who are the ones pushing this, because they're just the ones they're 5 years ahead of the curve. Yeah. So that's where I think the branding conversation is coming from. And because that also explains why it's relatively immature and new. And that's why I think everyone's running around talking about branding, but no one actually can define what it is. Super interesting. And there's no strategy behind it. Not to say that I know exactly what it is. I have my own opinions and definitions of how I structure branding. Yeah. But I think that's a big part of it. And I would say, though, I think that one of the things I don't agree with so much is that a lot of people today are pushing, you need your own personal brand for an expert consulting coaching business. And I don't believe that's true because, look at our gyms, right? We're growing one of the fastest brands in the UK now, but there's no one person. Yeah. There's myself, my business partner, but there's Tim Cook for Apple. Yeah. But Apple is the brand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. I think, if you can make a personal brand, fantastic, go for it. But I don't think it's needed. Some people that are just don't want to get out there on video or don't want to, especially a lot of people, I guess, in the tech field and others. Oh, they're not a lot of extroverts. Yeah, exactly. And when we're you've got to get on stage and you've got to do this, they're a bit I don't want to publish a book or do this or you don't have to really. I don't think for a boutique consultancy. So I because people get a bit stuck on that and they think they have to go and do reels and TikToks every day. Yeah, and that's true. You don't need to be doing hawk tours and all this kind of stuff. You don't need to go viral. You can, today you can literally build faceless Instagram and YouTube channels and make tons of money. Yeah. And I actually believe that AI is going to create a rise of faceless brands more than personal ones.
interesting.
It's going to be both,
Yeah.
but the guys who can really have the natural personality or the resources or the desire to go and create a personal brand, go for it, right? Definitely, it's worth striving for. Do it, right? But on the other hand, there's right now just as many companies and assets growing, like Millionaire Mentor. You know, you must like Millionaire Mentor is probably the biggest. Just doing reels and posts. Yeah. It's a faceless channel. Exactly. Jason something is the founder, but Millionaire Mentor scaled up to like 50 million followers crazy. Without a single person going on video.
Crazy.
And so that is happening across crypto niches. Yeah. In some senses, I think it actually works better for a teaching consulting kind of. Think about it. You make an Instagram page that is purely IT solution tips page. Yeah. And it's all carousels and informational slideshow content. Yeah. And what I actually teach people is it's faster to build a following with a faceless brand like that. AI can just make all the content for you in 5 minutes. Yeah. And you'll probably get more followers, but people who would pay a bit less money to you. Yeah. But if you build your personal brand simultaneously with that, you're going to get less followers probably on the personal brand, but a higher ticket. Yeah. And you use both. I advise, I've got a friend of mine in the dating ends, like Andrew Tate dating lifestyle, kind of picking up chicks on the street kind of stuff. Same thing with him. So his brand is Boss Life, but his name is Alex. So we're building his Alex page on Instagram. Yeah. But then equally at the same time, we're building the Boss Life page, which links to his page. Yeah. But it also makes outsourcing much easier because now we can use AI or assistants to build all the content. Yeah. They just take the clips, his real personal clips, put it into quotes and articles and carousels and blogs. Yeah,
you can reuse it
and stick it all on and build the other page.
Yeah, recycle it. And
so just to put out either way, I think brand is just the company entity, face or no face, that really gives you, it emphasizes, is a reassurance of the qualities that you're looking for in that business. So whether it's, a brand that's known for quality or consistency, or, like McDonald's as a brand doesn't stand for quality, but it stands for like, what you're getting. Yeah. Cheap, easy, quick food.
Everywhere. Yeah.
But then, like another restaurant might be just really cut out for its, the branding that says, high status, quality, reassurance, whatever it might be. So I think that's as far as branding goes. Is whether it's personal or a faceless thing, people should see it and it should convey. Yeah. This is the brand I know I'm gonna get X, Y, and Z from every time. Not the knowledge, because you can get that anywhere. Yeah. But it's gonna be delivered in a way that also gives me a certain status or experience or peace of mind.
You need to relate it to something, right? It's also emotions behind, right? Branding, faceless or personal, it's connected to emotions. Take big consulting firms like Deloitte or KPMG or whatsoever. They're huge brands, right? Yeah. No idea who founded them. Nobody knows. Yeah.
It's not going to help them if their CEO starts doing working on TikTok or anything, is it? It's
but for some reason, they have built a brand that if Deloitte is consulting you, Jesus Christ, they're the best, or KPMG or whatsoever, the big four, the big five. Actually, looking back, never really was good. Was working with them quite a lot, but great brand. Mm-hmm. And the customers pay high prices to get them in-house. So it's crazy. But that's also something you stick out from the crowd, right? You connect whether it's a company brand, a personal brand, you connect it to something. It stands for something, right?
And this is again where AI comes into this now, because you know how fast you can create a whole brand on AI now with the images and everything. Absolutely. So I would say it's good to spend your personal time making the personal brand if you want to. Make that authentic, unique content, and then use AI. Yeah. AI will eventually replicate personal brands, I think. Of course, yeah. But in the meantime, right now, it's quickly replacing faceless brands, or you can quickly develop a faceless brand, and you can go to ChatGPT and say, make me my consulting firm, I want it to stand for being you can use like the Wolf of Wall Street example of Stratton Oakmont, high quality, will never let you down. Like he gets it in the film. So you can go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I want my consulting firm, to stand for these. Our values are integrity, high quality. Yeah. This is the demographic we're aiming for. Yeah. And it'll go and create you all the imagery and branding and colors and the crests that will or, another brand I've created was, one for like grassroots, bootstrap social media marketing. And we called it Social Rebels, which is cutting edge, innovative, punky. And it gives you a whole different logo and buzzwords.
Absolutely amazing.
So the whole brand and theme can be created by AI in seconds, give you the fonts, the colors. Then you just go straight to Canva and make a font pack. Because you can ask ChatGPT, what font should I use to replicate this brand? What's a high status, prestigious font? Or what's like a Comic Sans?
Knows everything.
Yeah. And so, that's a big thing for us because we went through a big rebrand actually in our gyms this year. We put about £40,000 into a whole rebrand. Yeah. And not with ChatGPT, we actually hired experts to do it, but we worked with the top branding agency in the UK, and I was even a bit skeptical to begin with, but when we saw the work they actually did, they spent 12 weeks was the process of them getting to know us, our communication, and then they presented the whole unveiling to us of the new brand, which is what we're going to scale across the UK with. And we realized, to go national, we needed to look like a national franchise.
Makes sense.
And we thought we did before, but we didn't. But now with a new brand, we do. Yeah. And you can just tell that quality has gone into it. Yeah. And it does make a difference. But I think that's only more important, like after a certain point. Yeah. Again, like if you're not hitting like 7 figures yet, it's not your logo that's the problem.
Absolutely.
Don't blame it on, I haven't got a brand, it's no, you haven't got the basics in place yet. Exactly. Your offer's not good enough. You're not targeting the right people.
Exactly.
You're not making enough LTV per customer, or you're just lazy.
Yeah. You just don't do the work. Hear that all the time. It's like, you in a lead gen or sales. No, I'm gonna fish my website. It's cool. What is the website doing? Yeah, it's just like info about us. Cool.
We just got a website now with this new branding. Yeah. And that's only because we've brought investors into the company and they demanded, you guys need a website. Yeah. And we're like, we probably should at this point.
So till this point, you went without a website, right?
Only individual landing pages reached them because we just run Facebook ads and we just contact people straight over the phone and book them in. We don't even need a website for anything.
So everybody who's listening is...
We built 18 gyms and then put a website in place. So it's just there for our investors, because we don't really use it for anything.
So anybody who is making, 5 figures a month or whatsoever and tells me the next step is, I need to do my website. Come on, guys. You can go to multiple 7 to 8 figures without...
You need a landing page and a list building thing. That's all.
Exactly. For what is it? It's just an info website. For what? You have social media.
Yeah. Blog with a landing page on WordPress is good enough.
Yeah. It's easy. It's easy to create. As you said, back 10 years ago, it was 10, 15K to build a website. These days, whatever, 50 euros.
You just get ClickFunnels, high level, whatever, set it up.
That's so easy. So easy. Yeah, but again, it's fascinating how similar, again, businesses from different industries work. It's like every time the same. I mean, you're from the fitness industry. We had AI and all that stuff. We had foodie with the foodie founder here. Every time it's the same jazz. It's fascinating. Even though, like, especially with my audience, like IT companies or IT freelancers, there's so much skepticism about like lead generation and sales, like, because they're so used to being fed from the outside, my network, some recruiters, and some portals. And telling that's awesome if it works for you and you're happy making 5-6 figures. Go for it.
Yeah, I think the biggest lie that we get told as business owners, the biggest lie we've been told is that you build a business with organic marketing. Yeah. No, you don't. Yeah. Name me like a top Fortune 500 company that doesn't pay for advertising. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. To say that you don't pay for market. Yeah. So I think that's a huge thing. We all try and get away with like the hustling, and a lot of coaches and solopreneurs, they'll use the organic hustle as like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
They'll wear it like, well, I made like 15 blog posts today, or I reached out to 29 people.
Yeah, the busy work. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, dude, you could have just placed an advert and put $50 and done nothing and just had the leads come in.
True.
Because organic doesn't mean free, which is the next lie. Organic means it costs you time.
Exactly. It takes a lot of time.
When you're not serving customers, right? To develop the lifetime value.
Yeah.
And so,
absolutely true.
Yeah, I recommend all. And again, 25 years ago, okay, maybe you could have made the excuse that paying for advertising is too expensive because you have to buy a radio or a TV spot or something.
Whatever, yeah.
But today, when you can go and put an ad on LinkedIn or Facebook or Google Ads, you have no excuse, bro.
Exactly. 50. Well, you can start with $10
You can
a day.
$10 a day to reach 10,000, to reach 5,000 people. You know, it's crazy. Like to not look at how far
exactly
the strategy can go for you. Even if you just put $10 a day on and you're reaching like 500 people with a piece of content.
Perfect.
That is doing more than you could do 10 hours of manual reach out.
Yeah.
And you're going to put more longevity into the content you create.
Yeah.
Because everyone's running around trying to make 1 million videos every week.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you should just take like, I do this with reels now. I make 2 reels a week.
Yeah.
That my videographers like will create with me. And we just advertise them straight on Facebook.
Yeah.
And my reels get like 10K views then.
Yeah.
Just because I went to Facebook, targeted my audience. I run it on $5 a day.
So easy.
And we grow, it gets like 300-400 views a day.
Yeah.
For like 3 cents each.
Yeah. It's easy. At the end, paid advertisement, and I completely agree. You need to be able to go both ways, right? You need to be able to manually reach out to your customers because you need that knowledge in order to put them into paid advertisement. If you don't know how the target audience works, if you don't even know who your target.
But if you don't know that though, you shouldn't be advertising.
Exactly.
Because you wouldn't have built a product yet,
exactly.
right? But advertising will still tell you quicker. So I can make 3 reels. True. Let's say I identify 3 pain points. Yeah. And I call it the fruit bowl method. Yeah. I learned from one of my mentors, Frank Kern. Who's big in the internet marketing space. And so, it's like, you just imagine you've got a fruit bowl. So I can say to you, hey, Patrick, would you like a banana? Yeah. And you go, no. Yeah. Oh, okay. What about an orange? No. Okay. What about an apple? Oh yeah, I like apples. Yeah. Right. And I say to the next guy, hey, Alex, what do you like? So your market are going to have different entry points to you. Because for some people, and if we look at the IT consultants, right, maybe they're struggling with, don't know what to offer or how to package myself. Yeah. Maybe someone does know that, but they don't know, how do I get leads? Yeah. Maybe they do know how to get leads, but they don't know how to close sales. Yeah. And maybe they do know how to close sales, but they don't know how to retain customers and scale up. Yeah. So that's like 4 different entry pain points that, let's say, a listener to this podcast might have. So that's like one of each of the fruits. So you establish those for your customer. What are 3 or 4 pain points they might have that are distinguished? In fitness, it's exercise, nutrition, or motivation. Yeah. And you quickly make a reel or a piece of content that solves one of each of those things.
You can validate it.
Yeah. Hey, do you need more leads for your coaching business? Yeah. Hey, do you need to close more sales for your coaching business? Hey, do you need to scale up your coaching business? Yeah. And you just put those out there and then put $10 on each, and within 24 hours, the market will tell you which one is the best because it'll get the most views and responses.
Super quick validation, right?
Even market research, pay for advertising. Yeah. Don't go and ask your sister and your best friend. It's like it's easy. You have to put it to the market, and the market will tell you through not through opinion, but through behavior.
And through data.
Oh, this many people watched the whole thing and opted in for my lead magnet about that.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I would also put on the content is you can have like an opt-in for a lead. Do you guys talk about the concept of like lead magnets? Yes. Will they know what I mean by that? Yes. So put something that someone has to show a behavior to want. Yeah. So if whatever you're going to offer someone, it could even be they have to just submit their email address or click a link to go to a website to read the blog all about your solution for XYZ. And then track something like the website clicks or the opt-ins so that, you know, people have actually taken an action.
Yeah.
They've committed a behavior to say, yes, I'm interested in this thing. And then that's very strong data you have then to...
Definitely validates. I mean, for in consulting, you classically have like consulting reports for whatever 2024. You send them out, and then they can track.
I mean,
that.
we'll use this when we do territory mapping for a new gym location.
Yeah.
So if we have a franchisee or someone that says, "Hey, I'd love to apply to open one of your gyms in Glasgow, Scotland," is it going to work up here? We're like, well, we have no fucking idea. But let's do a Facebook ad and find out. We'll put like $100 budget. On a regular Facebook ad promising a 6-week program. They can opt in their name and phone number. Now, we're not going to do anything with it. It's a dummy advert, but we'll run it and we'll see, okay, the cost per lead is an average of $8 up there. Yeah, that'll work. That'll be great.
Yeah. Super interesting.
$100 test. We launch a 6-figure gym out of it. It's
I mean, and then what you were saying before is like, how quickly can you validate certain pain points in your industry? Because I recently just had a discussion actually from a former client. Where he was telling me that all this pain point problem is like absolutely bullshit, not necessary. You don't need this for consulting. You have I'm into the IT guy. We've been doing this for 15 years. It's all BS what you're telling me. Actually, he's not a client anymore. But it's exactly what it needs to be. You need to know how to enter your market, or how your market is responding to your offering.
Even also, you know, you can go even deeper, how your market is consuming. There's different 4 types of consumers of content. You know, you have, again, it could be a vast majority of your audience. Like, you know, we mentioned earlier that a typical stat is that the majority of IT experts are probably introverted. Right. It's just what it is, right? So introverts by nature are going to consume content differently. So if I was advertising, let's say, a solution to IT consultants, you know, I can put the same content in an aspirational sense, which is like an inspirational story. Here's how my client, you know, scaled to 7 figures in 3 days doing blah, blah, blah. Some people will respond to that. But there's more than analytical types. Who might want data and stats. And I might do the same post saying, hey, here's how you can scale your business 380% with this kind of budget, you know, in about 2.5 weeks. And then a different type of customer is going to respond more to that, who goes, I need to see the stats. Then you got visual learners who need to see how it works. Where I'd say, hey, let me show you a breakdown of the actual funnel that I used in this mind map. And they need to see that. They're not going to read an article about it. So you can break this down even into content consumption and see your audience. Do they prefer, if it's I'm looking for busy mums at our gyms, right? Do they consume 60-second reels? To learn how to do a quick healthy recipe with a quick reel, you know, a highly edited video reel, or do they prefer to get a blog with a written recipe? I don't know. I'm not a busy mum, right? Who cooks things. But guess what? We test. And you might even be surprised at what you think is going to work versus what actually does work. So even the same content in a different context can give you a 50% better return on your ad spend.
Definitely. So true.
And these all things will add up. And this could be the difference between paying, you know, $5 for a lead or $20.
It's a big difference.
It's massive when you're spending $5,000 a month on marketing, right? It'll 4x your company in 1 year from doing 2 types of content. Can 4x the growth of your company. One advert.
It's a great example, because in the IT field, this is completely overlooked still. Like this, all the net.
In most fields.
It is in most fields, I guess.
I mean, in the fitness industry, we're, you know, targeting. I actually have in my fitness clients, and we do this too. We'll break down our adverts by age demographic. So we run ads for generally people 30 to 50 years of age to come to our gyms, men and women. So we have separate split tested ads for all of them. Men and women, separate adverts with different words, different colors, different imagery.
Makes sense.
You know, the women get a 21-day bikini body program.
Yeah.
The men get a 21-day transformation.
Yeah.
It's the same program.
Yeah.
They do the same push-ups,
But
right?
it's the same. Yeah, just different marketing.
And then within the male and female, we'll sub-split those ads into the 30 to 39-year-old demographic, 40 to 49, and 50 to 59.
Yeah.
And they'll get different male images.
Yeah.
And, because at 30 to 39-year-old, the copy is going to say, do our 21-day men's program so you can keep up with your kids and get your energy back and be more productive at work. The 50 to 59 version is going to say, get your mobility, get your strength back, have a better quality of life.
Resonates differently.
And all these things get us better responses and therefore lower cost per leads.
Yeah.
So, there's just so many levels you can go into it. And the beauty then of the paid advertising with this over organic is that this is all quantifiable.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And and Facebook or LinkedIn will give you all the reports. Yeah. Hey, you want to know which demographic is getting you a 20% better return? Here's the report. I can check on my phone in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Organic, it's like, well, okay, this post worked. Great. Can I scale it? If I make one organic post and I get 5 clients from it. Great. Can I get 10 next month?
Yeah. Hard to say.
Or was it just lightning in a bottle?
Yeah. Hard to say. Yeah.
It's tough. So in our business though, there is a place for organic and referrals and networking, but for us, it's not for consistent lead generation. Yeah. For us, our growth is powered by paid advertising because it's the most quantifiable, measurable, and scalable. Yeah. What we use organic marketing and referrals for then is essentially to replenish our churn rate. So if our churn in our business is, let's say, 5%, we have 100 customers, we're losing 5 a month. Our organic target is let's get 5 customers this month from organic or referrals. So we replenish our churn, but paid ads is what fuels our growth of new customers coming in. Very
interesting. That's a cool concept.
So paid ads is to bring revenue. Organic to replenish churn is where our profits come in then.
Makes sense. That's a good concept. Yeah, that's a good concept. But I completely agree. If you figure out the paid advertisement side, the paid ads, that's a complete different scalability factor. But it comes down again, because I get that question a lot, like, can we start right away with ads? Because and I usually say no, because do you know your target audience? What is your service offering behind you? There need to be certain milestones.
Yeah, you've got to have the funnel and the product late. You got to have the product first. That creates the funnel of selling the product. The funnel is the trailer for the product, right? So you have the film, then you can make the trailer.
You can't just jump.
Then you can go and do advertising. Yeah. Otherwise, you can't advertise if you don't know what you're selling or how you're going to sell it, right?
Taking a shotgun and just try to hit something. You're probably gonna hit something.
Which is I think why, because most experts consultants start at the wrong end of the funnel. Yeah. They start with, let me just get awareness with an advert. Yeah. And that's why then their adverts fail, because they try and make a very self-contained. Yeah. The whole funnel is squished into one advert. Yeah. So I don't know if it's like in your industry, but like with fitness people, with fitness trainers who are inexperienced like this, when they try and run adverts, kudos on them for actually trying. I see loads in Cyprus, trying to run ads for their gyms or personal training service, but it's always the same thing. I specialize in this. You can't specialize in 20 things, but somehow they specialize in fat loss and muscle building and sports rehab and nutrition. And so that's the first mistake. They say, I specialize in all these 29 things. Call me. Here's my number. Which is just like you walking up to a girl at a bar saying, hey, I've got muscles. I'm 6 feet tall. I've got a big dick. I'm really good at this. I like dogs. I like babies. Call me.
I'll try that.
Like what? So that's why by nature their adverts will fail, because they don't know where the ad is going. Yeah. So they just play their card and say, here's my phone number. Yeah. And then of course nobody is going to call you unless they want a specialist in 29 things. The advert just needs to be the start of the conversation to say, hey, do you have this problem? Respond to this advert. If you put your hand up and say, I'm struggling with this thing,
It's a CTA.
Well, I'm looking for some help on this thing.
Yeah.
Great. And the advert can qualify the person, say like, if your company is struggling with this tech problem, this tech problem, you've tried these tech solutions, you're paying too much on this, and you're looking for a cleaner solution, I might be able to help you.
Completely different.
Us at Blah Blah Consultants might be able to help you.
Yeah.
So the next step is going to be click here.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we'll set up a consultation, or maybe even we'll give you a video or something that will give you more awareness about your problem. And then from there, we can book a consultation and talk about it.
Same concept in the IT. Same concept. There's no difference again in any other industry. It's exactly what's happening. I am specialized in Microsoft Dynamics, SAP, Java development, whatever, blah blah blah. What the fuck, man? You can't do everything. It's like, but I have a team. Yeah, you have like some Pakistanis in the back.
And the question I would ask then is, do the people you're targeting or the representative of the company you're targeting actually know what all that means?
No, they have a problem. That's exactly what I'm saying. What problem?
It's like if I say to you, if you have no experience in fitness,
I
mean, you do personally, but if you didn't, imagine, and I'm like, I'm a certified with the Czech Institute, and I'm an expert in the P90X system, and I'm a proponent of the paleo diet. You're like,
what the hell?
What do all those words mean?
Exactly.
Can you help me lose weight?
Yeah.
That's all you're going to say. Like,
that's the
help
same.
you.
That's the same.
And one thing I found as well, I talk a lot about is I think that we talked about this the other day. I think that a lot of the double-edged sword of being an expert or consultant is if the more specialist knowledge you have that makes you really good at what you do, you have to be careful that you don't wrap your identity around it.
Mm-hmm.
The majority, like in fitness, for sure, probably in other industries too, the biggest thing is that they've learned just enough to be dangerous, and they now start using expert terminology.
Yeah, I know.
Like I'll have trainers say to me like, I don't want to call it weight loss because it's actually fat loss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, you're right, but your customer doesn't care.
Yeah.
Your customer wants weight loss.
Yeah.
But that's not scientifically correct. I was like, this is why you're broke.
Yeah.
Because you will not relate to your customer.
That's very true.
You're letting your ego, and they're trying too hard to impress their peers. Not their prospects.
That's very true.
You need to speak client. Not speak, not speak with all technical jargon and all this stuff that makes you look good to other peers.
It's ego.
You need to talk to the customer, and we're just like, hey, you want to lose weight and get slimmer thighs?
Yeah.
It's basically what our adverts say, and everyone's like, yes.
Yeah.
Right. That wasn't too hard to advertise, was it?
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, we have the best proprietary technology at our gyms, and we have the Globo 5000 hip machine, and we have a cafe bar.
Yeah.
We just go out there. Hey, you want to lose weight in 6 weeks? Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And we get 1 million leads.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you keep it simple and speak to your client.
It's true. Yeah. And that's again comes back. You need to know who your client is.
Yeah.
In the IT, it's a great example that you brought. Is your client someone who's very deep into the technology? Like they know their stuff. They're very technical. They have the systems already. You speak obviously a very technical, a very high level expertise language. Whereas you're targeting customers that don't have any kind of those systems, like software you want to sell them, like in a package. They just want to have a digitalized sales process. Yeah. And then you come with dynamic sales and you just,
and who would be, like if you're the IT specialist or reaching out to companies, who would be the representative of the company that they would be targeting? Which department or which like person would it be?
Depends on the size. If you're like reaching out to small, medium-sized companies, you can reach out on a C-level.
Right.
If you're like 50 people, it's the CEO that's going to make the calls. So you're reaching out to the CEO?
Yeah. So, we do a lot of this because we do a lot of like corporate work as well. In fitness mindset, we do a lot of corporate contracts. And so we've got a lot of crossover there where it's like, hey, if you're going to reach out to the CEO versus the C-level, that's a different advert.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Because the CEO, and I think what a lot of experts will do is they will think about what benefits the company wants, which means what the CEO wants. But that's not what the C-level person wants. The C-level has their own selfish little grubby goals. They want to look good. They want to get the promotion. They want to get the credit.
Exactly.
So it needs to be about, hey, here's how you make your CEO really happy.
Exactly.
What if you could go to your CEO and report, 20% better productivity in tech, with less cost and smoother reporting? Would your CEO like you to do that? That's how you're going to get the C-level person, right?
Two different.
If you go to the CEO, your advice should be, hey, do you want to have a system so smooth you can actually fire one of your C-level employees? You don't need any more.
Exactly.
Take that salary and that covers tech that will scale your company.
Exactly. It's completely different.
And so, it's going to not just the company, but who's going to be reading. Say, like I used to run a martial arts school as well back in the UK. So I know that, I'm doing martial arts for kids, but it's not the kids who are going to read my leaflets. Most of them can't even read. It's going to be, what do you sell the parents? Do you say, oh, here's my Muay Thai gym where your kid can get punched in the face and be a badass? No. You say, would you like your kid to be more self-disciplined and better behaved and be a strong, thing?
Exactly.
Come to our super safe protective class where they'll have loads of padding and supervision. And
that's a great example. It's absolutely true. We had that, I think, last week in one of our live calls when we were distinguishing between CEO and C-level and so on. It's a great example.
And I know this guy. I'm getting pitched and you're probably in your company. We're getting pitched things all the time by people. I've got one of the, I don't know if I should on a podcast publicly, but and they're not bad people. I'm just saying, like, I've got one of the biggest. So when it comes to, like, in the gym industry, we have like customer CRM softwares. There's a couple of big players in the CRM space. We work with MindBody. We're like one of their top 3 biggest customers in the UK, and they do gym management software. So they want us, right? They found us somehow, and they want us. And so we work with them, but then one of their competitors we have, I've got this woman, this marketing rep. Trying to build a relationship with me. Like, we know what they're doing, right? When she slides into my DMs, I love that piece of content you did. And I'm like, and I just see, marketing CEO of marketing at big gym chains, big gym software company. I'm like, hi, Sophia. Like, what do you want? You just dropped in my DMs telling me that. Oh, well, I'd love to have a conversation one day about blah, 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 blah. And because I understand marketing and sales, it's funny because I'm appreciative. I'm not like, I know what you're doing. That's the game. I get it. But also I'm like thinking of the lessons. I'm like, you're not going to get my attention. You're not going to get me on a 1-hour call. It's just not urgent enough for me. You're contacting me about giving an hour of my time to you to talk about converting 28 of our gyms onto a whole new software. Really? You think that's a conversation that I'm going to have right now? Like,
it's not the wording.
It's basically just saying, hey, would you love a load more stress and complexity for your business right now?
They don't put themselves in the perspective that it's B2B, but at the end it's human to humans. You need to have the perspective of the person you're talking to. It's, as you say, so much different.
And I'm usually like, I talk to my marketing people. Like, I don't know. I don't deal with that stuff right now either. That's not what, our software is good enough. And here's the thing, maybe they have a superior product.
Maybe.
But in my limited mind, ours is working okay because I haven't had any problems with it. Maybe they can give me better efficiency and untold benefits. But I don't know. And so as a CEO, you're dealing with the problems in the company. You're not dealing with the things that are working fine.
Exactly. You're just looking at the...
I'm like, gym software, 20% extra sounds lovely. But, right now I've got this lawsuit going on. Or right now I've got this franchisee who's not abiding to the contract. I need to go and take his gym away. Or, or whatever it might be going on. Or right now we've got this 70K tax bill to take care of. I don't have the capacity to think about things that are kind of okay in the business. It's not where my time is.
Exactly. Problem-oriented approach, right?
But if my operations manager came to me, and I don't know where they got the conversation from, but if they came to me and just said, hey, I think I found a software that can get us 20% better returns. Shall I go and trial it in one gym? I'd be like, yeah, sure. You take care of it. Yeah, sounds good.
Of course. Now,
So that operations manager, she might have had the conversation with the rep. if the rep was smart enough to say, who am I talking to? Who am I selling? What am I selling?
Exactly.
And it would have been effortless.
Exactly.
It came from within, my champion, my operations person.
Everybody who's listening should write this down. It matters to whom you are talking.
Yeah.
Because the recent example that we had is like one client was complaining that he's always reaching out to it's Microsoft Dynamics consultancies, and the selling, like the end customer is actually not consultancies. I was like, first question is why do you reach out to consultancies? Well, I'm LinkedIn Sales Navigator, like I'm looking for Microsoft Dynamics consult. Like, well, you're reaching out to consultancies. What do you expect? If they think I want to recruit people or sell projects, but I want to get to the clients, like, yeah, but you're not even searching for clients. Like, search for whatever. E-mobility companies looking to digitalize their sales process, look for open jobs. Maybe they have a skill requirement that is actually looking for the Microsoft skill. I did that in like 3 minutes, just broke it down. So again, great example. Be aware to whom you're reaching out. Speak the damn language. Yeah. It matters.
And profile all the people, the 2 or 3 people you're likely to come into contact with, because you never know when you might meet someone at an event. So you go to an event, industry conference, you meet someone who's, I'm head of tech operations at blah blah company. You gotta know what your pitch is straight away. Yeah. Or you bump into freaking George Soros or someone. You need to know what you're pitching, right?
Or you don't know.
Yeah. So if you bump into the CEO, you or an Elon Musk or someone like that, then you've got to know how to pitch them. And you can talk about my software, my IT solution, blah blah. They go, it's not my department. Yeah. It's my company, but it's not my department.
Yeah, not interested.
I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, not interested. Exactly.
And it sounds crazy, like from now to think that, because anyone who's doing this right now, it makes sense on paper. Like why you would. I can see why this marketing person would contact me as the CEO and assume that I care about a 20% increase in my gym software. I mean, I should care about it. It's just not on my priority list right now.
The list is always.
And so, you've got to, and you might catch a CEO on a if tech really was a nightmare for us at that time, and it was on my mind. Yeah. And I had top of mind awareness about that, but that's like a dentist hoping to put an advert out on the day you have toothache. It's like, well, exactly. You're not going to catch that person. Yeah. So, you've got to know how to approach the CEO, and you've got to know how to approach the C-level. Exactly. Or even work your way into employees on the ground level.
Works fine.
I know a story about a girl once who, she met an employee of a new startup tech company, just like a ground level, a base developer. He was not so good looking, let's say, and she was very good looking. Yeah. She started dating him. Yeah. Right. And everyone's wondering why. After a couple of months, it's the big, it's Park Lane, the big employees convention. Yeah. I'm gonna meet my managers and my C-level execs there. Yeah. And he wants to take her to show her off, right?
Of course.
At the event, then she goes along with him, and she meets. Oh, this is your boss. This is your C-level manager. He's got a nice BMW. Yeah. He's got a nice. And you know how the story ends, right? 3 months later, she's with the C-level executive.
What a surprise.
A year later, she's mistress of the CEO, right?
See. Work your way up, yeah.
That's a lady that knows her customer.
I was going to say, she knows what she wants.
And she knows her ascension ladder within the company too. Yeah. She knows her lifetime value.
Impressive though. Impressive if you know it. Yeah, but it's true. I got a phone call from I would say a very like a competitor from us outside. They called me up, and it was a cold call. It was really good. I should have recorded it. And again, it's like I was wondering, and I asked, I said, you don't know anything about. Call was, hey, do you finally want to scale your business to 6 figures? Yeah, done. Okay. Okay. 7 figures. Yeah, done. Okay, then is Monday 9 like good for you for a call? It's like, dude, it's like, let's end the conversation. Like, it's interesting, but
I have so much fun with these people. It's mostly their appointment setters too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
so I have people reach out to me like, "Hey, would you like to grow your gym by 5 new clients?" I'm like, "Which one?" And like, "Oh, you have a couple of gyms too?" I'm like, "No, you have 28. What can you help me with?" And then they just revert. You see them like stop for a while.
Yeah.
They've gone to ask. Yeah, they've gone to ask
the script.
They come back a day later with, "So what's your biggest challenge right now?" And I just fuck around with them. I know this is like some 19-year-old appointment setter, probably in Bulgaria or something. I'm just like, well, to be honest, right now, I'm looking for a top level financial controller with at least 20 years experience, but without, but keeping the salary under 160K. So I'm thinking of looking for a headhunter, but I might actually go with one of the top recruiting agencies. What do you advise?
That is fun.
And then, some of them are like, "Yeah, we can book a call."
Sure, man. I mean, as it was to say, like, I was giving him some others like, "Okay, Monday 9 is fine." Dude, where you got that? Okay, we'll call you up. See, all right, man. Good call. Yeah. So funny, man. Fuck. Just looking at the time, we got already again over 2 hours. Oh, I don't know how we do that. There are a lot of things still on the list, but
let's just rapid fire through them if you like.
Getting hungry, man. But like, what is it? I mean, we've talked so much about all the things that from the past up to the present. What's next? What's the plan for the future now?
So, I mean, we'll keep growing the gyms. Like I said, 150 locations is the next goal. We'll see what happens at that point then. For myself then, I'm still doing a bit of my consulting work with fitness professionals and gym owners. Right now, going into summer of 2024, I'm getting a lot more investing back into crypto and things like that.
Nice. Yeah.
And for me, it's I'm not really sure where else will come in the future, to be honest. I'm looking. I'm gonna see what opportunities come up right now. I've been fortunate to build a bit of a cash position now, and now is the time I'm preparing for, let's say, a down economy.
Yeah.
And I will look for what assets and opportunities come up.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a new business. Maybe it'll be acquiring more companies. I've got a few ideas in mind, but we'll see what comes up in the next couple of years. But that's the main thing, is taking the same principle of building up your cash in the good times, so you have
very good
buy assets in the down times. And I think we're going to have some, like I said, some blood on the streets, whether it'll be crypto, real estate.
Yeah.
Big thing I'm looking into is I still really do believe in small businesses. Local businesses are seriously undervalued still, because 99% of them don't have the systems to operate. And right now, what's interesting about this decade specifically is where this decade it's projected that 70 to 80% of small businesses, your restaurants, salons, whatever, 80% of them are second generation owned. They're owned by boomers who are now going into like the decade of 60 to 70 years old. So this decade is projected, it'll be the biggest number of those people retiring, giving up the business,
it makes sense,
or trying to sell it, although 90% won't be able to sell, or handing off down to their kids. But an increasing majority of the kids don't want the responsibility of a break-even business these days. So this decade, it's projected there's going to be one of the biggest opportunities to acquire local-run mom-and-pop businesses.
Crazy.
So in like where we are in Cyprus, there's so much potential for lounge bars, clubs, restaurants, gyms, even yoga studios. There's so much, I think, almost commercial real estate potential for those things, for the business and also the commercial real estate that they're in. Yeah, getting good deals on the commercial on the building and acquiring the assets of the business within it. Yeah. Established family-run businesses that could, go to the next level. That's something I'm keeping my finger on the pulse on, of opportunities to come up in that area.
Very interesting.
And I just think, if I go out and eat pizza or go for steak and whiskey and cigars, I may as well start buying the places I'm going to do that in, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
For the thinking more like long term now.
Long term, it makes sense.
Yeah. Start getting equity in those companies.
Yeah.
And then the real estate on top of that. And, in 20 years or so then, because I'm thinking long term, when my kids are grown up and they're in their 20s then, I'll have those businesses in the family to pass down to them.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
And they will be trained to run them.
They will be trained. Oh, I agree.
Yeah, so that's, I think, a really good opportunity in the next 10 years of deploying capital in that way.
That's very interesting, very smart advice for everyone who's listening, especially cashing up in the good times and being prepared for the bad times, because they're coming. I completely agree. Recession is, if not already here, is going to come. We've seen it in the past multiple times, but yeah, always looking for opportunities is a great advice as well, right? Do you know the red car theory?
Red car?
Yeah, the red car theory.
Is that like the more you look for it, you'll find it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like with the opportunities, right? If you're going out, how many red cars did you see? No idea.
Well, I tell my network. I'm always telling my network. I'm saying, hey, like I'm looking out potentially for businesses, restaurants, this kind of thing. If anything comes up, or if you know of anyone who's, we do this all the time with gyms. We're once in a while we'll put a post up on Facebook and we'll say, hey, anyone looking to sell their gym, we have cash ready. Yeah. If you're interested, have a chat with us. Yeah. And a lot of business owners don't even think about selling because they don't think they can sell it for anything. They're like, no one's going to buy my piece of shit salon or restaurant or whatever. But of course, if you're a strategic buyer, again, you got to learn how to buy and sell companies. It'll change your life. If you can buy and flip companies, it's the fastest way to grow.
Did you read the book, by the way, Buy and Sell? By whoever, I don't know. Great
Buy
book.
and Sell?
Yeah, Buy and Sell.
I don't think I've read that one. No.
Highly recommend it.
But I'll get on the list. Yeah. But, because establishing a company is the hardest, most expensive thing, right? Yeah. Taking over it and turning it into profit for at least half of the equity and getting a paycheck and putting operations and then paying an operational rock star to be put in place. It's an easy way to flip businesses and have them as little cash producing assets. Plus you get to go to the places you like to go to and look good for your own networking events, take your own clients there.
Yeah. Great idea.
And just get discounts on, if I don't have to pay for pizza or whiskey again for the next 20 years, I'm probably going to save more money doing that than I'll make from the company.
That's true. And speaking of that, then we talked about it earlier, like our retreat mastermind in Cyprus in November. You're one of the guest speakers, as I heard.
Yeah, of course. You shared on the grapevine from somewhere.
Definitely. No.
I spoke to your boss. Yeah, he said I can come.
He's an idiot. No, it will be a pleasure to have you here. Will be great. We just talked about how we're gonna do it, where we're gonna do it, looking in Paphos, Cape St. George, or whatsoever. So it's gonna be really, really cool. We have not only IT nerds, I'm including myself as an IT nerd, like IT companies or IT experts. We're gonna have people from different kind of industries, because exactly what you said at the beginning is take perspectives from other industries and apply it to your industry. That's why I want to have people from we have you, very, I would say, of course, fitness, but obviously great expertise. We have crypto guys, we have AI guys there. So I want to bring everybody together, because the networking aspect brings such great benefit to everyone.
Yeah, and again, what I would say as well, if anyone's is about the crossover of industries, the technical skills work across industries, but we all agree, I think, that business success or anything success is 90% mindset.
Yeah.
And so mindset is mindset. We have different businesses, but we all have the same neuroscience.
Definitely.
So if 90% of success is the mindset, then the 10% of tactics and strategies are easily crossoverable. Yeah. But you've got to learn the mindset anyway. So something we'll probably talk a lot at the retreat about is the mindset for success.
Definitely.
And when you have the right mindset, that's how I know I'll happily take over a restaurant business or a salon or a real estate company, because I know I know that what I've learned in business so far will apply to any business. And for the specifics, I also know I can just go and hire someone for that.
That you can get, as we talked at the beginning.
who'll customize everything specific for that customer, that industry, will know those things.
Yeah.
I could feel confident taking over an IT consultancy right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would just get someone like yourself to say, right, you need to tell me about the customer and what we need to offer them.
Yeah.
And then here are the strategies we can go and do.
Yeah.
It's so easy when you can get the knowledge anywhere,
Yeah.
but it's the success mindset that really distinguishes the winners from the losers.
The mindset, the motivation, the discipline, do that over a long stretch of time, because motivation, lasts off, and it's really about being disciplined, consistent of on what you are doing, and put your ego aside, right? Mindset, ego is like, as you said, you have your mentors, I have my mentors, everybody. Like, it's a weird thing that all like successful people that we are talking to here in the podcast all have the same pattern. They're working with people who are, that they can learn from, but whereas there are people like, I know I can do it myself, like, weird thing that those people are not doing it. So
crazy, huh?
Yes, I don't know. Maybe it's just coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, like all those super successful football teams that don't have a manager,
yeah,
or the Olympic athletes that don't have any coaches, right?
They don't. No, it's just like they just do it themselves. Yeah. So, and that's a great it's a great analogy, because I actually recorded a video about that. How sports and business like apply to each other. It's like, why in business, if you get a coach or a mentor, it's such a negative thing sometimes. Like, it's just the ego, right? Whereas in sports, I'm not gonna start a sport without a coach, man. I'm not gonna do like whatever mountain climbing without someone telling me how to climb a mountain. Starting a business, you put your money into it, your heart, your energy. You're risking maybe your job that's bringing safety to the family. How high of a risk do you want to talk about? Like, that's the biggest risk you have in your life.
And the last thing is, going back again, jumping up to that 7 to 8 figure company, that quantum leap you make again, it comes from, like I said, having those rock stars in every department.
Yeah.
And you need the mentors, because they'll bring so much to it. And we were at one point a couple of years back, you really start specializing in your mentorships. And we worked with a finance expert, like literally a financial expert, who just specialized in going into companies, and he was a former accountant, and just like looking at the finances, right? And, we had, I don't know how many gyms at the time, but, we were doing probably about $1 million a year at the time. Mm-hmm. And, you've got to have a pretty good grasp on finances to be making $1 million with 20% profit. We go and talk to this guy, and he's like, he rips us to shreds in 5 minutes. He's like, it's all shit. Yeah. He's like, you need to fire your account. He just looked at one of our spreadsheets, and he can just look at like 12 months of finances, right? From every break. He just takes one look, like he's reading like matrix code or something. He's like, need to fire your accountant. We're like, what? Like these like Jedi level people. Yeah. He's like, he must have like a photographic brain. He's like, I've just scanned through all this. You've got you're 60K less reported than you should have. Where's the 60K?
Crazy.
And we're like, no. He's like, look, trust me. He said, 8 out of 10 people that work with me, you have to be okay with firing your accountant, because they're either inept or they're stealing from you.
Crazy.
Or both.
Yeah, or both.
Which one do you think it is?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, no, our girl, she's friendly, she's great. She's just stupid then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay. He's like, I'll coach you guys for 16 weeks. We have to fire her first. That's the condition. And you'll use one of my trained accountants.
Yeah. It worked.
And sure enough, she'd not reconcile 60K worth of money.
Oh, crazy. See, that's what
he took one look at us. We thought our spreadsheets were fine because we're making $1 million, right? We're gangsters, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
There's always someone who has.
And he said, and if I was the IRS or the tax revenue, you'd get fucked on that right now.
Shit.
He's like, how do you think I know? It happened on my company when I was making 10 million.
Yeah.
One of my accountants fucked up.
Yeah.
And I had a 500K tax bill that I couldn't pay. Nearly ruined me.
Yeah.
He's like, that's why I took this really fucking seriously after that.
Yeah. Well.
And he said, look, you guys have good finances, better than most.
Yeah.
That's why you're making 20% margin.
Yeah.
But he said to us, if you want, what are your goals? 10 million. So we said to make 10 million, you need Olympic level finances.
Yeah.
And Olympic level marketing and Olympic level. Every department
Yeah.
has to be top, like an Olympic athlete makes sense, right? Olympic athletes don't just train really hard and have an okay diet.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's
Everything.
top 1% diet, top 1% recovery, top 1% mindset, top 1% training, absolute top tier. If that's the goals you want, he says every pillar of your company has to be Olympic level.
Yeah.
If it's not, you won't get there.
Yeah. Exactly.
You won't do it. You can make 6 figures, 7 figures. Yeah. It's like to those guys, that's playground stuff.
For them, it's nothing.
He's like, oh, 7 figures. You mean you validated your offer?
Yeah.
Not like,
Yeah. Well, that's it. There's always someone higher.
always a bigger fish. Yeah. So,
Yes.
and I think that translates down into the mindset where a lot of entrepreneurs today, because the barrier to entry, I think, is so easy to get in.
Yeah.
Everyone can be an entrepreneur and throw up a Facebook account now.
Yeah.
I think the expectations are very skewed.
Yeah.
If you really want to be a top 1% earner in business, we all know, right? If you want to be an Olympic athlete, you're going to obsess for about 7 to 10 years and maybe not even make it. You want to be a top professional footballer in the top league, obsess for 10 years and maybe you'll make it. Maybe. You probably still won't.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to be a top celebrity, a top actor, anything. So the same goes for business. You want to be the top 1% of business? Yeah, you'll struggle and strive and obsess for 10 years and maybe you'll make it.
Yeah.
But what if I don't? Well, tough luck. You didn't work hard enough.
How it is.
You weren't Olympic level.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's no participation award.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like,
If you do the Olympics and you train for 4 years and you come second in that race, you go wait another 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough luck.
That's how business is.
And I think people need that expectation of business first, that it's going to be way harder than you think. It's going to cost more than you think. It's going to take longer than you think. You don't know as much as you think you know.
Yeah.
Your information that you do know largely is worthless if it hasn't got everything else supporting it.
It's the puzzles.
And it's going to be 7 to 10 years to build a solid business.
Yeah.
If it even works at all, if you don't get replaced by AI, are you still a game? True. And the ones who say, fuck yeah, that's a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else is probably not cut out for it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Agree. I completely
That's okay. You can be an entrepreneur and work in somebody else's company.
Yeah.
There's space for that now. Or go and get a good job somewhere. Nothing wrong with that either.
Exactly. It's nothing bad, right? You get
everyone talks about everyone leaving corporate, start their own business. No one's talking about the people who fail and have to go back to corporate 5 years later. Which I would say is a bigger number.
That's a big number.
Being an Olympic athlete isn't for everyone, and being a top business owner isn't either.
Yeah, that distinguishes the top and the one who tried. And as you say, there's nothing bad about trying and failing. Nothing. Yeah. There's nothing bad. And even if you go, that's great. There's so much possibilities even to have job. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, as you say, you will go through a lot of tough times, and you need to go through. Otherwise, don't call yourself entrepreneur. Just put it on your Instagram. I do drop shipping for 3 months. I've seen it all.
So I think once you accept how hard it is, it actually becomes easier.
Yeah. Just it's a roller coaster ride. No, you celebrate the highs. You learn to cherish the lows because you learn the most out of them. And they really shape you, shape your business, shape your personality. And it's down the road, it's fun. If it works out, great. If not, still a great experience.
Yeah.
I think that was a very good ending.
Always good to end on mindset. Yeah.
Justin, was a pleasure to have you here. I would say, if people are looking for Justin, where should they look? On the internet, what kind of social media?
Sure. If you want to get in touch, ask any questions or expand on anything I've talked about here, just follow my socials. I'll drop the links below, and go to justindevonshire.com if you do run a gym or a fitness business. Otherwise, there's not much there for you, but feel free to go and check it out anyway, or just contact me.
Yeah,
I'm happy to chat
in the comments, of course. And if you're looking to scale your IT consulting business, you should know who I am. Obviously, you can get in contact with me and my team. It's also in the comments. But most importantly, I really hope that everybody liked the podcast today. A lot of value, guys. I hope you cherish that. So much great advice here from Justin today. thanks again for being here. We were today in the studio back because last time recording on the roof was pretty hot for the equipment. So Toykan, our videographer, said, no way, we're not doing that again. Although the shooting was pretty cool. And I think now it's time for some lunch.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.